back. Banks versus Davis. As you can see, we're both here because the last episode we had technical difficulties, so it was just me on a solo episode reviewing the Royal Rumble and talking about success of Markiplier's Iron Lung and kind of what we want for movies going forward, because that kind of speaks to what kind of audiences are coming out to movies, just in terms of creator-driven content and supporting niche audiences. So check that episode out, and then also check out the episode Banks did with Black Announce Table. It was just him and Eve. They reviewed the Royal Rumble, and they also reviewed Raw, which we'll get into in a minute, just because I didn't get to give my thoughts because I was recording the episode as Raw happened. So I really want to speak on the segment I missed as I was recording, because much of the show was pretty skippable. And then, of course, you and Amp on the RAOP Patreon doing the bonus episodes. Dropped 2 of those, another one on the way. And they just dropped their return episode with Rory. I'd say don't miss out on that episode. It's a classic. So
also too, this week, Joe might be DNP because of his health. Get well soon, my brother. So I'm not exposing nothing. It's just people get
he's
sick.
Been tweeting it. He said he had COVID, and then he said it's bronchitis, and he said my asthma.
I don't know what's going on. So no, but get well to my guy. So me and Amp gonna be recording. So of course I wish it was in person, but again, anything worth having, you got to be patient. It's about to happen very soon. I'll be there in person.
All right, we got a comment, and I want
to. But studs. But what you want to talk about with studs? I like studs. Let's talk about studs.
Dot's in the chat, and I want to address something real quick because Dot says skiing is easy. There is no fucking way skiing is easy.
No.
Dot, your legs are fucking screwed. Your feet, I should say, are screwed to the skis. You think you can dance and that will translate to ski? No, it does. It's not that type of footwork. You're carrying long ass pieces of plastic, and as soon as you lose, if you don't have your bounce, your legs go like this, and you do the RVD splits, but not in the way he can do it, in the way that tears both your groins and go like skiing is not. It's everything. Oh my, and for him to say that with his leg trouble and his feet problems, I can't believe like the audacity to say again. You ever been on the snow? You ever been in the shit? Like just to walk through 6 inches. Now you gotta go down a mountain at speed. No, it's not easy.
Yeah, I want to learn how to surfboard. Or not surf. Well, I do want to do that as well. But
you were talking about fictional characters, sir. Fictional characters, like
Will Smith saying, yeah, that. I mean, come on, bro. You got a dude from Philly and the one from the Bronx, even though he was playing that he was from LA trying to ski. Nah.
Again, skiing, it's not easy. The Winter Olympics, as I'm saying, it's boring compared to the Summer Olympics, but it is the more difficult sports because if you're on ice and then you're on legit snow. So yeah, the only thing I say really to tune in for the Winter Olympics, especially with you, given that you're down on the NBA, is watch the men's ice hockey, because that'll be competitive, especially given how last year's what do they call it? It wasn't the Final Four, but they gave it or like the Four Nations Four, and Canada and the US, they had real beefs. Like they threw the gloves down as soon as the game started, and then they were rematched in the final game. So you want to tune in for any Canada USA game. The Russians and the Swedish always have good teams, and then like the Finnish and the Germans have a couple players that have kind of become superstars in the last couple of years, but overall it's Canada, Sweden, Russia, and the US that dominate team hockey in terms of on the global scale.
Yeah, I don't watch the Winter Olympics, so I can't say nothing. I didn't even know it was on till
neither do I.
Last night, and they was lighting some big red orb and all this type of weird shit. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, to me, it's sports. Again, the bobsled and the luges, like that stuff is just not as interesting to me.
Wait,
It's
hold on. I seen something with the bobsled, the American bobsled team.
yeah, they didn't get in all at the same time, which is again the risk of the bobsled. And then
No,
there's the what's
I seen some women's on the
uh
yeah, that's what I seen on the commercial. I was like, hold on, what?
and the I think they call it, I think regular luge is when you go down like this. I think skeleton is maybe when you go down head first, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that
I
the
think
one where
there's
they legs be open?
That's regular luge. I think skeleton is different, but and I'm unless I'm misremembering, but
Why they do that? They gotta do this. They
for
gotta be like
speed, they
Spider-Man.
you never saw the '90s X game when they did street luge
Yeah,
and they
I
were
remember all that. I don't get it.
yeah, it's ridiculous. And what else? I mean, there's stuff like speed skating, which makes sense because that's basically track on ice. Um,
I just like the X Games. I ain't gonna hold you.
yeah, I think they also have snowboarding and they'll have snowmobiling stuff. Fuck, when the guys do the backflips on the snowmobiles, I'm like, obviously I
No,
don't think there's as much I don't think they weigh as much as regular snowmobiles would. I think they do something like in the mechanics to where they can function, but it's probably like how Amp described Bosnian cars in Florida, like they're just kit cars. It's a Honda with a Lamborghini's covering. I think that's what a lot of the snowmobiles probably are for the X Games, because I mean there's no way you can push a snowmobile to do a double backflip like these guys try to do. But
yeah. Also, too, I'll try snowmobiling, like riding it regular, but all that like that arcade game shit where you gotta ride around and go through the hoops like they do in the X Games, I'm cool. I can't do that.
yeah, but no, I was telling you that right now they're calling Glorilla's stud sister, or studster as Amped called her,
Stud sister.
Brorilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brorilla. And I asked you if that was your type of stud because you
No,
and Deb.
that'll make me a homosexual if it was.
Okay, okay, take it easy, take it easy, take it easy. Like all right, like because you and Devin had fought over who was the champion of the studs. Like y'all like women that look like dudes.
Like I wish that was title number one, champion of the studs.
So she's not your type at all.
No, she looked more so. I got a cousin that look like her, and he's a man.
I was about to say is that why she's not your type? Because
No,
um,
it's like, bruh, they parents' genetics are strong. I don't know which parent they look like the most, but it's like you got Stud Glorilla, you got this new evolution, this Charizard Glorilla, because she got a nose job and all this shit. Do it matter?
hey,
No, I'm
leave the
still,
girl alone.
hey man, I'm still wrong. I ain't say nothing
I know
otherwise.
I am too, but I'm just saying, like she did.
Oh,
I
you
always
are
say,
too. Hey, I ain't here.
of
I
course.
wasn't.
Hey, I didn't make my list, but I'm definitely taking her over Kalani.
You're smoking crack.
you want my 30? All right. At the end of the episode, I'll give you 30 names off the dome right before I take over Kalani.
Okay, yeah, that works for me too.
Um,
But no, the
she's doing what we would
sister.
all do if we had money. You use the VC and you get enhancements.
You say you used to PC and get enhancement. So you
Yeah,
graduate from the gray shoes to getting the Nike
of
brand and the Jordan.
course. Yeah.
Okay, so what her sister trying to upgrade from a strap to like a real strap?
Everything she's trying to like. Anne pointed out the Christmas tree in the background. Someone today pointed out that she's got chains and earrings now that are brand new. So it's like maybe she's just trying to upgrade her whole life. Um, yeah, I mean the story was weird because everyone's right, like how she's supposed to take care of her whole family off. Yeah, glow like
Yeah,
that's not something you can retire your family on. And as everyone was pointing out with the Sebastian Telfair thing, where he was taking care of everyone, and look what happened to him. So which is it? You can't be selfish, but then you can't be too generous. It's just first of all, it's my fucking money. I'll do it for what I please. If I give you some, be thankful. And again, I'm doing it out of the kindness of my heart. But if I don't want to give you shit because you fucked me in the past, then obviously I got my reasons. So
let this be documented. Let the record be clear. When I start getting bread, the family on my father's side, I'm glad this is here. This is 1018 mark. You can dub this shit. You can send it to them. I'll send it to them cocksuckers. When I get some money, I don't give a fuck if the motherfucker need an IV to live. I ain't paying for shit.
What the great Michael Corleone. Not even the license for the gaming fee. I mean, not even the fee for the gaming license. I would like you to pay that personally.
That's why I'm sitting like the Godfather right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I ain't done. I might.
My answer now. My
But
answer is nothing.
I seen her wrestle too. She got in the shoot, bubba. She so some dude, but she kept listen. I'm not condoning it, but she did kept like grabbing the guy. He's like, please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. And then after that, he said, hey, all hands on deck.
God, what movie? Isn't there a movie where like a guy fights a girl? And
It's a couple movies.
No, and he thinks it's a guy, and they're like, "That's a woman." He's like,
Joanna Man, the sequel?
No. I've only seen Joanna Man once.
That's all you need to do. Once is enough.
Yeah. The funniest thing about Joanna Man is that they reference it in the episode of South Park where they try to turn Butters into margarine, and Clyde's like, "You mean like Joanna Man?" And Cartman's like, "No, Clyde, it's not like fucking Joanna Man, okay?"
Hey man, he was comfortable doing that role too. But
the great Miguel Nunez Jr.
Yeah, he liked that role a lot. This I don't know. Do she want to be identified as a woman?
That's the whole conversation that I don't think.
Because we calling her sister, but did she say her pronouns as sister?
All right, so that's what I mean. That's something where to qualify like as a stud automatically means like you're a woman. It's what they would call butch back in the day, which is why it was stupid. Which is why it was stupid when your great Vince McMahon's like, Pete Dunne, I got a great name for you, pal. Your name is going to be Butch. Like,
but it's something to that. I get it because the hair.
No, there isn't.
The hair and the looks.
No,
he don't look like Ella DeGeneres.
It was stupid. No, he does. No, he doesn't at all. He
do look like Ellen DeGeneres.
No,
put it side by side.
No, not even. Ellen DeGeneres looks like
you.
Looks like Todd Chrisley. and they probably got the same underwear
with dick holes in it.
No, actually, given the way that people talk about Todd Chrisley, maybe he would have the kum si kum sa type of underwear.
Hey, that's a brand we need to do. BVD underwear, but just have it in the back.
Whoa, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Hey, man. Where do you want me to go with this?
But no, I mean, I think she, by them, calling her sister, she probably is a woman who identifies as a woman, but wants to. I mean, that's why the whole WNBA thing, because wouldn't the stud buds be like, if you're identifying as no, that's it's a conversation that no one really should have except those involved, because it's like you looking like Chris Brown, but you try to move like Chris Brown too, like, because that's how they all look a lot of the times, is they look like Chris Brown and they try to act like Chris Brown.
You notice a lot of studs don't do domestic violence often.
They do.
Not too many. You said who?
Didn't Brittany Griner beat up?
Yeah, but she taking the gimmick, Bubba. That's why.
See, that's my point.
The other one's not taking the gimmick, so they not like charged up.
How do you know that? How do you know they're not? Are you a doctor?
Because they don't have the voice.
No, I think they have. A lot of the times they got the voice too.
No, they got soft voices, so they can still come back to the winning circle.
Because again, like Glorilla's not a stud and she has the voice.
Well, how do I describe this? That region of the South. For some reason, all women got deep voices. My cousins sound like them. My cousins sound like me. And then some of them sound like me, and then some of them sound like Dot.
What's she doing, Banks?
Yeah, they sound just like that. I'm like, who?
You a fine motherfucker.
I got a story I can tell about one of their friends that sound like that and said something like that. I thought it was my cousin. I was like, bro, I'll sock you in your chest. She was like, this Regina. Oh, my fault. When we going to Texas Roadhouse.
How many times did that throw people off in the 90s? Like, hey, is Darren home? This ain't Darren. This is Cynthia.
this ain't Darren. This is Cynthia.
Oh, there's a great Seinfeld episode about that where the guy calls him, he has the high-pitched feminine voice. It's like, I am him. And George is like, oh, because he was talking shit about him.
This ain't Darren, this Cynthia.
I think his name might be Darren. It's a great episode. It's like, it's obviously a dubbed voice actor, but it's just hilarious. Like,
Hey,
that's why FaceTime's the greatest invention. I know you hate FaceTime, but that's why it's the greatest invention, because you have to, because that's why, and this goes back to podcasting, pivoting to video. Because every time you would hear someone on a podcast and then see what they looked like, you'd be like, oh, that's not what I expected, you know?
hey, so
There's someone in particular who has the voice to match how they look. You and I, we're not going to go there, but yeah.
I'm gonna see you a Scrumpet later. I'm supposed to be linking up with. I don't know. I've been trying to ask the proper way. Is you black? Because
God, what are we on today? What is
a great episode? That's what we on.
See what happens when someone calls themselves Raheem? The whole world just goes right off its ass, and then J. Cole drops an album, and then North Carolina.
You fucking said the name.
That's I did it just to segue this. So last night was something that
I couldn't go. I couldn't go a day without somebody saying the fucking name.
I did that on purpose. Again, I know how to tune up the band. Come on. But last night
get your shit up.
UNC versus I'm saying you got your shirt on. UNC versus Duke. And this, what did I say to you days ago? You shit on the NBA, but college basketball is ugly. There was turnovers every fucking time they cross half court for about 15 minutes, and 15 minutes of the game, not in a row, but like half the game was like turnovers crossing half court. And that's when I was like, this is why you can't say the NBA is terrible, because at least these guys know how to fucking pass to each other. Like,
well, you gotta think these are kids too. I get
that's my argument of like what's so great about college basketball over the NBA. I know your point about the NBA in terms of it's just all about shooting threes and not doing the smart thing, which is cutting to loop, because that's what they do in college basketball. They're more relying on, if you're a dominant guy with strength and a handle, you can succeed by just driving to the post. That's why Julius Randle, everyone knew he was going to be a success right away, because the one thing he could do, as he pointed out, like he had that dribble spin move at Kentucky, and everyone's like, oh, that's going to translate well, because if he's doing this to kids right away, he's going to be a success in the pros, because he's already got a signature style.
And he was 6'9", 250.
Yeah, but as of right now, like, I mean, the Cam Boozer thing, everyone's saying like he just plays like his pops. I am interested to see if Caleb Wilson will translate, because he's got the prototypical game of a guy who's 6'8", lanky, he can shoot.
It will. He can get inside out.
Yeah. And he's also tries to shoot from the mid-range too, which is an art form that they're saying maybe might try to make a comeback, because everyone's seen how three-pointers have kind of ruined the game. But now if guys start to make the mid-range, like it's the thing that people were shitting on DeMar DeRozan in the last 10 years, is he never developed a three-pointer, but but he's like, hey, from 18 feet out, I'm automatic. Hey, like,
you won for that reference.
But it's true. That was the thing where people are like, in terms of why he was not a hot commodity and after the Toronto trade, is that everyone's like, oh, the way the game's going, we need threes. And his game was like, from these four spots, from 15 to 18 feet, like, I'm going to be 85%. Like, that's not a bad, again, it's not 3 points. It's still 2 points at the end of the day. Like,
yeah. And he's made a shit at this point. DeMar been in the league 16 years. He made a 16-year league or 16-year run doing that play style.
Yeah. And
it worked with the Spurs, even though it was like, the lane was clogged because it was him and LaMarcus Aldridge. But
another guy who was just like, hey, from this range, this is where I dominate. But yeah, in typical UNC-Duke fashion, I had to come down to the wire. And I think it was because they kept replaying the fucking Austin Rivers three-pointer from a decade and a half ago, where they were like, that's Austin Rivers' best basketball moment of his entire fucking life, is his three-pointer against
compared to when he played for Winter Park High.
Compared to the game he put up 20 with a busted eye, compared to
look what I'm comparing it to, his high school.
Yeah, well, him, Harrison Barnes, the great James Michael McAdoo, they were the guys that had those like ball is life, mixtapes. And Austin Rivers was famous for having one of the best mixtapes out there from Winter Park or in the Jordan Brand.
And look who became like a vet and still making money in the league. Harrison Barnes. Out of all three of them, it was supposed to be James and Austin Rivers, they thought was
Yeah.
gonna be the next ones. Now, old man, it's crazy. He ain't even that old. Old man Harrison Barnes has made like a 14, 15-year career.
But it made sense because as even though he was famous for being, you know, the reason why the Warriors didn't win against the Cavs because they just subbed him out for Kevin Durant the next 3 years and went 2 for 3 with the titles. But he was still a solid player. And again, he's similar to that DeMar DeRozan thing. Like his game's a certain style. It's not so modern as it is old school. But to bring it back to Caleb Wilson, like I think because I was trying to do some research of like because Harrison Barnes when he went to UNC, that was kind of the prime era of Roy Williams was able to get local guys, but also if not the he wouldn't get the top 2 or 3 recruits, but he would still get guys in the top 10. And I feel like you would know this more than me just because I haven't watched college basketball as much the last couple of years. But the reason like Hubert Davis's run has been kind of mediocre is because he's not as strong as recruiting as Roy Williams was, and especially developing because it's not a game where guys want to stay like it was for Roy Williams, where he had point guard after point guard after point guard to relieve each other. It went from Ty Lawson to Kendall Marshall to then Kendall Marshall to Marcus Page, from Marcus Page to Joel Bear, and so on and so on. Like he was able to sustain, guys and develop them over many years. Whereas like now, even though it's the NIL era, you think it'd be better for guys to stay and develop longer. Duke has kind of become the place where top recruits go. Case in point, even though the Boozer twins are always going to go to Duke no matter what. But what do you think about Caleb Wilson choosing UNC? Because especially said he was like, I could have gone to Duke, but they just stopped recruiting me after a while.
I think it worked out because we needed a guy. It's been a while since we had a guy that stood out and that was projected to be a top lottery pick.
Mm-hmm.
That's the constant when it comes to, and like Dot said, you can't teach that. You can't teach heart. I'm not gonna sit up here and say Cam don't have heart, but you feel me? Like your player or your pops was $100+ million player, stole money from the Bulls organization because hell, it's an open door policy with the fucking Chicago Bulls. Shit, me and you can get a fucking some tick over there right now because we guards anyway. We already got 20 guards, but that's another conversation. But with Caleb, I think is perfect because we needed a guy like that. Because again, we're not strong in recruiting. Uh, the not the nostalgia, but the what the kids say. I hate this fucking word, but the
Yeah.
aura of UNC has dissipated in the last couple of years. I'll say the last 13, 14 years or something like that since we got our national title, even though we had national title after that, but when we got the top three players that go in the lottery being Barnes, Henson, and Kendall. Kendall Marshall was in that as well when we won that national title. It's kind of like the recruiting class hasn't been as consistent as it once was before. And Duke start playing, yeah, I said it, paying players, getting the Kyries and the Zions. And I can't hate the player, hate the game, but still. So with Caleb, I'm glad he came to the winner's circle. More likely he gonna be one and done. I'll be very surprised if he do another season, but I doubt it. Go get
No,
paid.
no.
Um, but again, with these players, sometimes I say like, because the worst organization in NBA history, the Washington Generals, they always in that play for a lottery pick. I'm always gonna say, I don't know, bro. Let me see what's up. But at the same time, it's kind of like the changing of the guard, so to speak. They still gonna be ass, but now since they got them trade picks
Don't.
or them trades, I can
Well,
see.
no. They gave up picks to get Anthony Davis. So
Yeah, but
that's
still, which is dumb because he probably gonna be there for a year. I don't know
no,
his
he's not.
contract a
He's not
year or
even.
two.
He won't suit up for them at all.
No,
He already said
you
he's sitting out the rest of this year, and before the season starts, he'll be traded again.
yeah. I mean, but that's how you at that point where it's like it's almost time to call it. You ain't AD no more. You Anthony Davis. When they start trading you around, and then Trey Young, I don't know what they gonna do. But going back to Caleb, yeah, we needed this. I think he's a good player, but like I keep trying to tell Doug, I think depending on the team, I'm picking Cam Boozer with the number one overall pick.
over Debanza, Darren Peterson, and Caleb Wilson.
They could put the ball on the floor. It just depends on what you want because AJ is a 2. The guy from
but again he really should be a 4 because of his height. But then that means because he, like you said, he should be.
You could put him at the 3 like you did Kevin Durant because Kevin Durant was at the 2.
He should be a 3. Like, but then again, with the way he's gone, and Jason Tatum's basically a 4 now because then they can put Jaylen Brown at the 3. I'm just saying in the terms of like guys with similar builds and similar games of like you really should be something, but because we're now in the modern game of height and wingspan and speed and shooting and the way you can handle it's not as role fitting as it used to be. Like you said, like Cam Boozer, he kind of has an old school where like he just tries to get inside, but he can also knock it down from 3. But then on defense, it's like this guy's not a stopper, so he's kind of going to be the old school power forward. But that's why I think it's risky kind of to pick him one based off the game last night, where like everyone's saying, like that was a good showcase for Caleb Williams, and then Darren Peterson showed up in the game against Debanza a week ago, but the week before that, Debanza put up 40 against Utah, and it showed like, all right, these 4 guys are really going to be. It's like winner's choice. Whoever gets picked one, you're not gonna. And it's also what people could have thought with the 2017 draft when it was Markelle Fultz, who people were high on just given his ability. Even though he went to a school that wasn't successful, Lonzo Ball, which obviously we didn't know what was bound to come with the knees, but so at that time,
it's over for my dude.
At the time, he was the best passer almost in basketball at that point. The way he was finding guys,
and he played defense.
He could play defense, and his shot wasn't as perfect as it seemed to be in terms of like the way people talked about it, but. Again, he was a shooter, and then Jason Tatum, obviously, with the game that everyone wants, which is your 6'8", athletic, shoot, dribble, and he's made improvements since then in terms of all those aspects. But like that was a draft where everyone's like, if you have a top 3 pick, you're not missing out. Same thing like it was for Wiggins, Parker, and Embiid at that time, where everyone was high on each of those 3 guys for what they could do. Andrew Wiggins, super athletic. Jabari Parker, super old school game. Joel Embiid, a big man you can't miss.
Right. So. Again, it's just depending on who gets the first pick. It's politics. All this shit set up. It's not me sounding like conspiracy theory banks. It's real. Because how did the Mavs get Cooper Flag? Like, after that trade. So I'm looking at the Pelicans. If you the Pelicans, you pick up Cam Boozer because obviously the Zion thing is about to end. Just like the John Morant thing. But also, if you get AJ, being the Pelicans, you got Jeremiah Fierce. DeJounte Murray, I think he's out to fucking lunch. He's a simp. So that relates to his knees as well. But then you got, I was about to call him Dairy Queen for some reason. But Derek Queen, you got him over there as well.
If he starts to balloon up like Zion Williamson, then maybe they will call him Dairy Queen.
Yeah, no, he's not going to get, he has self-control. Something Zion doesn't have, and that's a whole 30-minute conversation. But he's a big guy, but he's not like, right here. And then Zion want to be skinny, but then yet a whole different conversation. But yeah, so either way, I think Caleb right now, if I'm thinking about it, because surprise, surprise, the Kings got the worst record in the NBA. Where have I heard that before?
And surprise, surprise, they're gonna botch the pick like they do every fucking time. Yeah. The only time they got it right was Boogie Cousins, but then as soon as they had a good season with Boogie Cousins and Mike Malone, they're like, Mike Malone, you're out of here.
Right, which is fucking stupid because both of them to see eye to eye. But the problem with the Kings is you don't see eye to eye with winning. You don't see the eye to eye with common sense. You got DeMar over there, who's probably a Hall of Famer. Again, I like DeMar, but it's the NBA Hall of Fame. Everybody get in. You got Zach LaVine over there, Malik Monk. Like, that's pretty good. I feel like I'm missing a point guard. You got a decent enough team where Sabonis still over there too, right?
Nope.
That's crazy. Like an all-star is over there, and I'm just like,
oh no, he is still over there. Yeah, I thought they were going to trade. There were talks that they were going to potentially trade him.
Yeah, like this dude need to be on a winning team, and I'm just like, wait a minute, Sabonis over there. It's just that's Koch records. Don't know what I mean when I say Koch records. That's the graveyard. When you go to the Kings, it's like I don't want to play with you anymore. We just throw you
most
away.
definitely, yeah. Everyone
So
says like, because there's that tweet about once you see an all-time great in that Grizzlies jersey, you know they're done. But the Kings, like you said, they're really the graveyard. That's where like careers go to die, and unless you somehow find, like that's what was happening with Harrison Barnes, right? He went to San Antonio, then he went to Sacramento, and now isn't he back? Or am I thinking it the other way? He was in Sacramento, then went to
no,
San
he went to
Antonio.
Sacramento and then he went to the Spurs. But
Because he
after
was
he
part of
left,
the De'Aaron Fox trade, right?
yeah, after he left Golden State, if I'm not mistaken, he went to the excuse me, the Mavs to get paid. Because again, the Warriors and
Yeah, he
you
went back
know,
to
we
he
could
went
spend
back
$1
to
billion
Dallas.
for arena, but we could spend $5 for all these other players except for Steph Curry.
Well,
And then we
that
wonder
go
why we in the shitter
well,
because we
and
got
you're
Jim. Hold on, let me talk about Jimmy Butler, punk ass. And then we got Jimmy Butler over here, Mr. 2 a.m. Motherfucking Derek Cole. 2 a.m. insomniac Derek Coleman. I'm sorry, that played for the 76ers. And now he hurt. Yeah, your career's over, cocksucker.
you're basically describing why I didn't really full on root for both of those teams during my time. Again, I love basketball, but the reason I picked a team like the Celtics is like the Kings. Like, look at their roster every year. It's like, who the fuck? It's like Major League. Like, who are these fucking guys?
No, they
Like,
be having guys. Because
no, I'm
remember
saying
Chris
back then.
Martin.
Back then they had Kevin Martin.
Kevin, my fault. Kevin
No, but
Martin,
it was
Ron
John
Artest, number
Salmons.
79, Ron Artest, or he
But then they
might have been
shipped off Ron
99.
Artest. But it was like they had John Salmons, Mikey Moore, Omri Caspi, which
Aaron
would be a
Brooks, right?
no, they didn't have Aaron. They had Pooh Jeter for a little bit. Um, or some other bad Kings. I'm trying to think of. Oh,
You think
fucking
about the bad one. I'm thinking about the ones that can play.
Jason Thompson, who is fucking horrible. And that's another bad pick because that's a draft I've gone over with an old friend of mine. It's like, look at the pick with Jason Thompson, and then I think Paul George is the next pick after, or something like that. But yeah, Jason Thompson. Or no, he would have been 2 years before because the Paul George one was the Boogie Cousins draft, which was a smart pick. But the Kings, they would just get garbage guys, and then the Warriors, they would just be stupid with their trades year after year, where they would just. And I've said this before on the show, and I've said this to people, like I thought they made a mistake choosing Steph Curry over Monte Ellis, just because at that time it was the glass ankles Steph Curry. So I'm like, you already know what you got with Monte Ellis, which is 25 a game. You know, yeah, he's short and doesn't want to play defense, but if you're picking one guy scoring over another's, this guy's going to show up more than Steph Curry and his glass ankles are. But then it proved to be right because Steph Curry got, an Under Armour deal and some ankle braces and turned out to be Steph Curry. But still, like, that's why I couldn't full on root for either of them, because one was bad at drafting, the other was bad at trading. And as you just said, like, they traded all that for Jimmy Butler. Now they traded away Kuminga for Porzingis.
Yeah, what was that?
That's what they say Porzingis has. Remember that he has the.
No, they said it was something else, sir. You can't just.
They keep saying he has the.
No, he ain't got the monster. They said it's something else, dog. They just remember they just said it like a couple weeks ago.
It's not. At this point,
it ain't the monster, bruh.
It has to be.
Dude, I mean, he was already like 110 pounds. Did he lose more weight?
You can't tell when guys are already that skinny if they've lost more weight.
You ever seen Dallas Buyers Club?
No.
Okay, so watch that when you get a chance. Actually, a really good movie, no lie.
But yeah, the Warriors are just stupid because, like you said, they spend all that money for a new arena. Then they only want to pay Steph Curry and stupidly Draymond Green after he punches Jordan Poole. They paid him, which is why they let Clay go.
Hey man, the handicapped kid got to get paid too.
Hey,
is he not? What you want me to say? I can't say the R word, and I mean no disrespect.
No, I'm saying but Steph Curry can't keep being his Jesse or Carl Anderson. Like, you can't always look after Festus. You got to let him roam free. Or if you want to do a mice and men, you got to do the thing and take Lenny out like George did.
Hilarious. Calling Draymond Festus, biscuits and gravy is hilarious.
He is. Because again, what does he do every time someone touches him?
And it happened last night when me and Dad was
It
recording
happens
tangents.
every night.
Yeah, that's what you do. Look, when you know your game is for real over, that's what you start doing, bro. It's the same
No,
thing with Dennis
it
Rodman, one of my favorite
started.
players ever.
It started in 2015. It started. It's not when his career
No,
was
but
over.
every
That
game
was
the past
it.
2 years.
They lost the finals because he was like LeBron James. And the LeBron James also did the delayed response of like, you've ever seen Caddyshack?
But you know Draymond was trying to fiddle with him, right? I mean, he do it every time he get in front of the camera. Big bro, big bro, put me on the Lakers, big bro. You'll be there, and then LeBron gonna be gone.
No, you look up, big bro. Can you put me on the Lakers?
He sound like Biggie.
Yeah. What? Because you what?
No, you know what that is? That's that Flint water. Did I ever tell you what my conspiracy theory about the Flint water and AI?
But that was Flint water's been on the last 20 years. They just came up.
Exactly.
They just came out with AI.
No. AI.
Unless you're saying that this was the slow rollout.
It was, and AI been out longer than it has been in the past couple of years.
I mean, if we're calling like Photoshop controllable AI and stuff like that, or
and before that,
IG filters and Snapchat, stuff like that. But overall, I bet like the AI as we know now. I mean, if it goes back to, the water and Flint from that time, then maybe it would make sense.
Think about it.
But you're in on it. Again, you and Dot and everyone who uses all that AI for covers, like you're part of the problem. You're doing the damage.
You know why? Because we're trying to get people to move out of Mississippi. That's why.
That's not a good idea. Because where are they going to move to, motherfucker? Like
someplace better than hell. I don't know.
Again, the people have to stay. I'm not saying stay where they're at, but like stay in places where, again, otherwise we're going to get overpopulated. And this is the shit that Thanos was talking about.
Well, it's happening anyway because people can't stop having kids.
Right, we're not having the real conversation because that's going to
go. Hey, by the way, they got some
that's
females
for your
in Mississippi. Apparently, it's a sleeper city. I've been doing my research.
All right, y'all said Oklahoma has no women, which I would believe.
I don't know why, but they don't. Mississippi apparently does. I've been doing my research.
No, I'm just trying to think of it. Has there been an athlete from Oklahoma? A female?
Yeah, athlete? Blake Griffin.
No, a female athlete. Because again, y'all were right when you look at it. When you're talking about, you weren't trying to violate his mom's, but you were right. Like, look at her and like, yeah.
Female athlete from Oklahoma.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
What comes out of Oklahoma besides Sooner? Go Sooners.
Was it Courtney Paris? Or was it? Because I swear at the same time, him and Taylor Griffin, his brother, were killing it at Oklahoma. The Oklahoma women's team also had a star. Maybe I'm going too far back, but I didn't
working at the Applebee's out there. That's the only prominent restaurant.
Before we move on, I didn't want to ignore Rome's comment because I tweeted this yesterday that and this goes apparently that I didn't see that Melo had said something, but this goes to the coach of Syracuse responding to Melo's criticism about how Kion's being used. But I'm not, again, me being a Melo fan, I'm not just on Melo's side because your team's almost below 500 and you don't want to play one of your star recruits. That's also not a good sign for anyone who would want to come and play for you in the future. If that's how you're going to respond by taking it out on the player instead of just having it out with the grown up like you should.
Yeah.
And granted, not every future recruit's going to have a Hall of Fame dad like Kion does. But at the same time, again, that's not a good sign, especially if it's a game that you're losing by a lot. So you're going to stunt this guy's development. So my tweet was Kion definitely needs to transfer.
Yeah.
Because he needs to stay another year, but he definitely needs to transfer.
It's the Shador thing. It's like we don't really rock with your we don't really rock with your dad, but also I'm kind of nice. That's the thing. And the thing is, he not know, yes, sir. Yes, he really his dad's son. He be talking wild.
Well, he's also not starting, so that's the thing. Where I'm like, it's not Shador because he's not in the starting lineup. Because again, he's a freshman, and this coach is probably one of those guys like, I say freshmen start when I say freshmen start, like probably one of those old school dickheads.
Yeah,
Like,
from the '80s shit.
Yeah. Which is good because again, he should also know like it's not going to be free handouts given that who his dad is, given who he is, because he was not a 5-star recruit but a 4-star recruit. But at the same time, it was bad to go to a school that his dad was obviously going to have influence on. Obviously, it was like you either want to win the internet, which is what they were doing in the modern day, which is you want to win the internet with nostalgia and like, oh, it's so cool. He's gonna he's gonna put on the same jersey his dad put on. We love to see that. But also at the same time, that's gonna make shit worse. Just like the Shador thing was doing. Like, it's awesome that you're getting to show out and that you got skill because you're the son of Deion Sanders. But unfortunately, you're showing out because your dad's putting you in the position to show out. Which I wasn't against, but it's that point of where this is why you're gonna get the criticism you're facing because it's like you're being handed the opportunities versus if you were like, that's why Prime came into college coaching at Jackson State in Colorado because he knew his son was never going to get a fair shake as a QB. So he gave him the opportunity to succeed. And that's why this upcoming Brown season will be his make or break year. It will determine the rest of his career with how it goes.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a good year for him if we're gonna talk about NFL for a second, because um he got a coach that wants to work with him. People like him. It's just up to him in the off season to lock in. Don't go on vacation. You know what I mean? He seemed like he a good kid, so he ain't being around a bunch of broads. Just lock in, bro. And then again, if I got Tom Brady number, hey, can we get, you know what I mean? Can we get on the field? Throw some. Can you give me some tips? Like, bro, if you got the greatest of all time quarterback in your phone, what you think you gonna do in the off season? As soon as the season over and he ain't got to do broadcasting no more, hey, can we lock in?
Yeah.
I don't want to eat no turtle soup with no mushrooms, but still.
With asparagus shavings.
Yeah, no like bread. That. No bread, no water, no meat. I don't want to go sleep at 6 p.m.
Yeah. No, but still. I think the stuff he needs to work on, I don't think is mechanics or stuff like that. I think it's more so again seeing what the defense is, preparing for that, but also at the same time, he's on a team that doesn't have a lot of weapons. That episode of our ROP Live where Eric was trying to defend Jerry Jeudy was one of the worst things I've ever heard because Jerry Jeudy is fucking terrible and has been terrible. Again, he was terrible in Denver, and look how good they are now that Jerry Judy's not there. Like, so the fact that Jerry Jeudy has to be one of his targets is not a good sign for Shador. So they need to re-up on some offensive weapons. The O-line for sure, because that goes back to his Colorado days of not having a solid O-line, which is why he takes a lot of sacks, because he's not willing to make bad throws, which is a good thing for a quarterback. But at the same time, you're going to lose just as much yardage as you are risking the chance for an incompletion or an interception. So to move on from...
You know who should coach Syracuse if they get rid of coach? Let Melo do it.
I don't think Melo can be a coach.
I think he can. I think he really could be. He got the IQ for the game.
No, and then, I say that as again, because he was just so... Not that being single-minded is bad, but I think he was just singular focus on him. Because the way he would talk about it on the pod is like, get to my spots. I know my spots on the floor. Like,
yeah, that's NBA today.
But he can do that for him. He can't do that for 15 other guys, is what I'm saying.
That's up to them. I think you could, though, because you telling them exactly to pick your spots. It's just like wrestling. Pick your spots as to where your game works at.
Maybe he would be good on a coaching staff, but not a good coach overall. Like maybe coaching, maybe as a coach of development or like as an offensive coordinator type. But I don't think a good head coach overall. The best head coach that we'll see, who isn't a head coach now, and I think you and Dodge just talked about this, is Rajon Rondo. Like that'll be the best coach we'll see in the next. He will be. He will.
No, the reason is because now you getting into seeing the game way different. With point guards, it's the reason why I said Jason Kidd isn't a good coach. Because you got guys that can't see the game the same way you see it. These all-time point guards is just like all-time quarterbacks. You see everything. So with Rondo's one of my favorite players ever, but everybody not gonna see the game as he see it, especially if you're supposed to be a pure point, which we don't have too many of.
I think he'll be able to see better because the Jason Kidd thing is he just doesn't know how to use players. He doesn't know rotations. That's his
And that's
issue.
most coaches nowadays. Hey,
I
it's called
yeah.
JJ Redick. He's a big proprietor of not being able to use rotations, as we keep seeing with these games. Hey, Brian, I know you only playing like 30
Well,
minutes, which is
well
all
that
time low for you, but can you give us a
exactly.
couple more?
But that's why Derrick Rose's career ended. That's why Joakim Noah's careers ended
Well,
prematurely. Is
Coach
because that
Tibbs, yeah,
that's
Coach
like
Tibbs, like,
he didn't know how to use rotations.
no, he
And
does, but Coach Tibbs don't
no, he
believe in that. He
doesn't.
believe.
Guys want to have their knees grounded to
No,
Minsky
it
at this
wasn't that
point.
he doesn't believe. It's not the fact that he doesn't know how to use it. He don't believe in it. That's two different things. I get what
That
you mean,
means
but
you
that's two
don't know how
different
to
things.
use it if you don't
No, that
believe in it.
means I want you to run until you pass out. And he tried to do with
No,
Jalen Bronson, fat ass, and you see how
stuff
that
like
worked.
that for the coaching part of it makes sense. Like the whole idea of like taking training seriously because again, like when it comes to winning time, are you going to be the better team or not? Like, are you going to be prepared to handle when it's um, the 11th, 12th rounds, and you've been going at it for 30 minutes?
Yeah, because you got to build that callus up.
Yeah, but I think Rajon Rondo, and I'm just saying that because he's my favorite player of all time, but I do think he'll be a good coach.
Look who your and I love Rondo again. He on my
It's
all time
Rondo
list.
number
But look who
one,
your favorite player of
Melo
all
number
time
two.
is. Okay, that's fine with Melo. But look, again, love Rondo. But look who your all time favorite player is. Not
That's how I
Jordan,
wanted to play the game like that. Like,
not Jordan, not
no, because I
Bron.
know it. No, because I'm saying realistically, I knew I couldn't shoot and I couldn't jump. So I'm like, I want to be like the guy who's like, see, like you just said, seeing the floor, seeing. That's how I would play with my friends, and at the basketball skills in high school, I would like try to see where guys are gonna be and like put the ball there, or like go off ball and try to create a move so the guys could get open after that. Draw because again, they know I'm not going to shoot it, but I'm going to try to draw the attention. But like, yeah. And then
You
when
know,
Ron,
Magic tried to be a coach, right?
first of all, yes, I'm not saying every great because I know not every great player or every great point guard doesn't turn into a good coach. Isaiah Thomas, etc. But I'm saying the reason why he will
Oh
is because.
God.
But I'm saying he will because Magic Johnson just one. They never should have taken him seriously based off who he was as a person. You can't take that guy seriously as a coach. If you're fucking everything in sight, I know damn well you're not going to be focused on the game.
Hey man, they ain't got nothing to do with
No,
what the
I'm saying
fuck
that when you're
going
not.
on.
Yes, it does.
You know, James
Because he
Worthy
only
was a coach
he
too.
only
Was
and,
James
and he was trash too, and he was fucking everything in sight too.
was James Worthy a coach? Or I'm thinking about. I know Coop was. Coop was for the Sparks. He got 2 titles with the LA Sparks. Then Michael Cooper. Shouts out Inglewood. Stand up. I think he was the coach for the Sparks, but I think James Worthy was the coach. I might be tweaking. But yeah, like you saying, it's just when Magic was trying to coach these players, it's like, what?
Look at how he talks about the game as an analyst.
Oh no,
LeBron
if you
James,
win by
LeBron,
2, then you win the
LeBron,
game.
that's right. That's how you should know this guy obviously wasn't a great coach because like Steph Curry, he's a great 3-point shooter. There's a movie I just watched. We're going to talk about it in the last half of the episode. Right now, we got to move on to the other. So you and Eve just talked about this. So you don't have to really give your thoughts. I just want to talk about the CM Punk Roman Reigns segment from this past Monday night. I thought it was great. It didn't blow my mind like it did for everyone else because there were some things that happened in it where I'm like, at the end of the day, you still see the early version of Roman kind of creeps out.
Yeah.
But then you can also see the guy who is the guy. And I think it helped that it was just him and Punk one-on-one. I think what they were allowed to say helped the segment. I think it being in the city where it was at helped as well. As you talked about, he referenced, in Philly was when I won the Royal Rumble and I got booed. And now I come back to Philly after winning another Royal Rumble and I'm the tribal chief and y'all love me and all that. But I think it was great for them to reference, obviously, the influence that Paul Heyman's had on each of them. And CM Punk saying, all you did was just copy me. And in terms of how to be great, what did you do? You took Paul Heyman. Yeah, you had a long reign, but look at my reign versus yours with the part-timerness of it, which is the other irony of that CM Punk was crying about part-timers, and that's kind of what Roman Reigns is now. And the irony of Roman Reigns saying, well, because you bitched and moaned, I had to do all the work after you left. And because you bitched and moaned to your best friend about me on a podcast, I've had to live with that my entire life. I thought it was good with the stuff they referenced. And to bring it back to what I had said this past Monday night, Drew McIntyre, they put him not 6 feet under, 12 feet under, because both of them buried this fucking guy. And then what he said on Friday night, nope, it's not good enough. Try again. Because
I love the fragile field thing though.
It's a good line, but everything they set up, but CM Punk legit saying like, yeah, you beat Drew McIntyre, but how many of your cousins was better? But then at the same time, Roman Reigns legit said like, I've beaten Drew McIntyre numerous times. So it's my point again, like this guy is so fucking cursed. They buried him 14 different times in one segment. It's just like his title doesn't matter. His show doesn't matter. Even though this is the brand new fucking title they're fighting over. That was the only strength of Drew McIntyre's promo on Friday was him saying like, this is the title that all these guys except Dusty Rhodes, which is a clever diss that he snuck in there, had.
So also that world title that's on Raw, not to cut you off. Remember Roman Reigns said that's the Mickey Mouse title when he's talking
that's the hypocrisy of wrestling, obviously. And they always, whatever they say goes one way, and now it's a complete opposite. But Roman Reigns isn't making it about the title. He's making it about, and this is how he ended his promo, which is, I hate you, and that's why I'm picking you. Because I hate you, and I'm only going to face you so I can take your title and end this once and for all. So, I mean, the stuff about Finn Balor at the beginning, that's going to be the stuff that keeps CM Punk going, because I agree with what everyone's saying. Like, you don't need to do any more build-up. The tickets are sold already based off of that. Any more interaction, go ahead.
Well, this the only promo they're going to get until April from Roman Reigns anyway, so.
Well, I mean, that's because he's a lazy piece of shit, but regardless of that.
Y'all not going to see him till April.
Don't forget, the guy who was bitching and moaning about Brock Lesnar a decade ago, I'm here when he doesn't want to show up.
But look, that's actually a good impersonation. But look, like you said,
and the other part, because let me explain about why Roman Reigns at the end of the day is still kind of, like I said, he'll have those weak moments. He is terrible when he does the like that fake laugh. Like, come on, you really think?
Yeah, that's acting 101. Like
that's
you said,
you know,
the beginning of the promo was like.
That's why that phone call from Hollywood is still like. Oh, I thought I heard it ring. It didn't. My bad. Wait, yeah. That's why it's not all the way picked up yet, because he can't do the. Man,
it's really like when you go to acting for camera. This is why y'all learn to act on stage like I do, because when you act for camera, and it comes off fake. Whereas if you learn how to act on stage,
it's fake, not in a good way.
Yeah. Like in the beginning, like Davis was saying, it's just like, ooh, this sounds like 2015. He was talking in the beginning, like it sounds scripted. Like it just sounds like he reading a script that he read and memorized, and it didn't come off well. But then when he got mad, that's when it was like,
that's
okay,
his best.
Yeah,
him being mad now, not the John Cena version where he was like, bitch, when he was just going at John Cena by saying bitch.
Yeah, fake ass
every other word. And that's again, like he's learned now that like, and when he has to bring in the fact that again, the stuff that is real, like the reason you could come back is because I said you could, and because there was a place for you to come back to, because My family and I did all the work, which again, that's facts.
Right.
Like that bloodline story, and no one can say otherwise, carried that company for 4.5 years.
It's
It
the
wasn't
reason
Cody
why they
Rhodes
made
coming
all
back.
time
And
profits
yeah,
from 2020. My fault to cut you off. It's the reason why they made all time profits from 2020 to 2024.
exactly. It wasn't Becky Lynch. It wasn't Bianca Belair. It wasn't Cody Rhodes crossing over. It wasn't any of that. It was him versus Jay 101 with Paul Heyman, then him Jay Jimmy, then him Jay Jimmy solo, then him Jay Jimmy solo and Sammy, and then it culminated obviously I'm not counting the stuff where it turns to black and white Wolfpack, but I'm saying like that when the run ends at the WrestleMania where Cody goes over, but that would, like I said, that's 4 years of them controlling and running everything, and he and his family, but most importantly, he deserve all the credit for that. No one can say otherwise. Again, that my point of saying like the reason they make him the draw that he is because, granted, that story was doing all the business and all that, but you can manufacture everything because, like I've said before, you can manufacture good attendance when every show was a sellout when The Rock was coming back. But why isn't every show called a sellout now when The Rock's not here? Again, it's because it's to boost one guy's ego. We got to call it a sellout. But when it's actually a sellout, we don't have to advertise it as such. But that's a whole other conversation. But overall, like I said, this again, I'm not going to Vegas like y'all, but it bought me a ticket to tune in because it wasn't a grand slam, but it was a home run at least. Like they did what they were supposed to do. I just think some people kind of oversold it a little bit, but hey,
Well,
what
that
the
lets
hell?
you know the state of the business and why this company is in the bullshit that they are in today. Because you get promos like this, whereas me, Dot, Amp, and others around my age demographic, we were getting this every Monday, and not just from one segment, damn near every segment. Like again, it wasn't like all of it was great. You'll get some like despicable things, some insane things, but them promos when that glass hit from that man, hey, you know you in for a ride. And we would get that from him. And then when you hear if you smell the rock, you getting that promo. When that car wreck happened and Mick Foley come out, you getting that. So we had guys that'd give you a promo, but like, oh yeah, this wrestling shit is fire. Now you get it every so often, which is fine. It just things change. I don't expect things to remain the same. That's just not how life is. Like I talk shit about the NBA, but eventually something has to change. It's just nothing has a never. So
Well,
the,
I'm only cutting off for like you're saying, like for things for him to go out and say the reason I'm back is because business is bad and I'm going to be the one to change it. I'm like, it ain't really bad like that because you're not around, and one, you don't want to be around anyway. So we're just telling lies here. Everyone's telling lies because it
yeah,
goes back to, and someone had quote tweeted this because he did a vlog about his day in Saudi, and he said like, this was never handed to me. Everything I got right now is everything I've earned. I'm like, nothing was handed.
it
Nothing
wasn't.
for 5 years. Vince McMahon was like, here you go, here you go, here you go, here you
But
go,
wait,
here you
remember
go.
he had to go through, and then that's what
No,
Cena said
no,
years
no.
ago.
He
He
was
he
handed
said
everything.
no,
He
but
only
remember what
earned
Cena
it when no
said.
one was around to boo him. That's the only way he earned it.
No, but before that. Remember what Cena said? You took the U.S. title as a demotion. I took it and I made it hot. So
Yeah,
he's saying that he had to go through that
but
because
that's
he
him
still
being
look.
again. That's him being handed everything, which is we can't afford to make you the top guy right now, but we're still going to give you up instead of just putting you to the bottom of the card and making your career irrelevant. We're still going to give you stuff like that. Versus it's a demotion, and it's again it's the pinnacle of Kofi Kingston's career to that point. But for you, it's a demotion. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like everything, this guy's whole fucking career is handed to him by Vince McMahon. The Shield,
Well, it could be,
all of it.
but check this out. The same things could be said about The Rock. Same things could be said about Triple H. Some people could say John Cena. Some people could say shit.
No, the only again the John Cena because John Cena went through 6 months as white meat babyface, and then almost a year of heel Doctor of Thugonomics, then face version of Doctor Thugonomics the next year. That's earning it because he was doing all that on the second show, even though it was the better show. A lot of people being SmackDown, but he did all that. So then when he wins his title and Batista wins his title, and after a month of business, Vince McMahon's like, one guy's doing better business than the other, and it's not the guy I chose, or more offense, it's the guy that Triple H chose, being Batista. So he did the swap where John Cena goes to Raw, Batista goes to SmackDown. And that's why John Cena becomes the way he is. That's the only time. Again, he earned it to get to that point. Roman Reigns' whole thing is you got put in this badass faction. They make you the bigger single star out of it because less than a year after the faction breaks up, you're in the main event of WrestleMania after you win the Rumble. That's being handed everything. Dean Ambrose didn't have anything handed to him. He had to go out and earn everything.
You think that guy would have had everything handed to him in WWE?
No. I'm
compared to Seth Rollins.
No, I'm saying,
look, Seth Rollins is another guy, and Batista.
Oh no, I'm saying for Seth Rollins for sure got everything handed to him. That's what I mean. Like when you have the Triple H stamp, you have everything. Randy Orton. Again, Randy Orton had everything handed to him way more than John Cena.
Shit, way more than anybody. If you want to be honest,
even though we both don't like him, Edge had to go and earn everything. We got to give him credit for that. Yes, because everyone always says it.
When he went single, he got the IC title. He got the US title.
He was in feuds with Booker T over shampoo commercials, and he was in a fucking hair versus hair feud with Kurt Angle. Like that, that's
exactly
that was going out and earning it.
Yeah, and then from there, he just constantly got the push.
We gotta sideline this for a whole. That's an own episode and stuff because that is Edge had to earn way more than Roman Reigns had to.
He kept getting pushed over and over. All these,
Roman
and I'm not
Reigns
saying
had
you're wrong about the Roman Reigns thing.
Back-to-back WrestleMania. No. He had a quadrilogy of main. He went from Brock Lesnar, Triple H main event, Undertaker main event for not even the title and not even the streak on the line because the streak had been broken and it wasn't even the Undertaker's retirement match. And then to Brock
and they cheated.
Rematch. That's being handed everything.
Hold on. And they cheated for him because he went back. Well, it's kind of not cheating, but he went back to back in 2024 with the main events, that tag match, and then the match with Cody. And then last year, that triple threat, because they wanted to give CM Punk his main event.
It goes back. That's right. Being handed everything because he gets the main event when he's not the champion. Like, that's the shit CM Punk was wah about when he was the champion and not getting the main events. But
it was a good match, but even still, that main event last year, it was just to get them into the main event. Well, all three of them into the main event.
Well, that's why look at them having, because this is the match that it should have been last year. And again, Seth Rollins has to whine and cry his way into Daddy Triple H's arms about like, look at why do I get passed over? Why can't it be me? Like, what about it? He does. And that's the irony about him ripping off CM Punk's entire career, which he's done, is he does what if it's a triple threat match like CM Punk said it should have been in 2013 with Rock and Cena, which at the time I do agree based off the way they were telling that story, but it would have made sense because John Cena needed a one-on-one win over The Rock. They had to do the home and home version of it.
And guess what? We get a triple threat this year, even though Drew said you can't get the title, you blonde-headed bitch.
Yeah, let's not. We'll talk about that in the weeks to come because if it plays out that way, then
I'm confused.
Yeah. So the Michael trailer dropped. I only briefly talked about it, but Emmett said the best thing about it that pissed him off was the CGI monkey. And one of the first things I realized watching it, I'm like, there's a lot of CGI in this movie. Whew, for the crowd shots, for a lot of things.
The steel mill. It looks like Polar Express, a lot of them shots.
I haven't done any research. I wonder if they shot this on the volume, or you know what that is, right? Where they shoot the Mandalorian with the LED screens for the backgrounds. It's like doing.
I think they did. From what I was told with people on production that worked on it, they shot a lot of it on the green screen. It was shot at I don't remember what concert that they were reenacting, but a lot of it in the backdrop was green screen.
Um, like I said a few weeks ago in our big movie preview show, I'm not looking forward to this movie, but I thought this was a really good trailer. I enjoyed this as a trailer because it had great editing. It put Colman Domingo in the spotlight, an actor I enjoy, and everyone's like, he looks crazy or he looks spot on. He looks like evil Joe Jackson to me. Like, he
Right,
may still
sinister Joe Jackson. Joe
he
Jackson looks
may
sinister anyway.
he still may sound like Colman Domingo. I don't know if he's putting on a Joe Jackson voice,
Well, Joe
but
Jackson kind of sounded like Colman Domingo.
see, do you
I
want
don't
to
know
look
what
in this?
people want. Just sound like a mean Southern man.
Yeah, but I thought it did a great job building the story of what this movie is going to be, which is, it seems like, the rise of the Jackson Five to the rise of him as a solo star. And I think I was spot on saying, like, I think this movie ends when he goes white. So I think him making bad is this movie's cliffhanger. They haven't officially said there will be a sequel.
It will be.
I, no,
They
no, I'm
got to
saying
stop saying it. Oh, we
no.
don't know. All that
I'm
footage y'all
saying this
shot.
from I'm saying this from a standpoint of, as we talked about the last time we talked about this. This movie had a big reshoot being the entire third act, and that probably had to do with, are we ending it here or are we extending it? And
Well,
it
also
probably
that lawsuit.
well, yeah, but also I think more so because the way that one of the heads of the head of the studio, I think, or at least one of the higher ups of the studio that's responsible for Michael said, could we make a sequel? It depends on how well they did the James Cameron thing. It depends on how well this one does. But that's why I think, again, like, there's not so much Michael Jackson 99 2000s era, with the surgery and the kids. Like I said, I think this ends when Bad comes out, and then the second one probably picks up from there and goes further into the Michael Jackson until he passes. But
But then if they
overall,
do that, it might be only an hour and a half to 2 hour movie compared to this one that might be just 2.5 hours.
it would make sense if this one was 2 to 2.5, and the next one would be under 2 hours.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think that's something a lot of sequels, because again, the point of a sequel is to go bigger and better. But I think a lot of sequels where you try to stretch out stuff, like that was, I think, the weakness to people feel a lot about the Harry Potter sequels
Oh,
or
dangerous. They doing that now.
the Twilight sequels, in terms of but those again are movies that are trying to stretch out a finale.
Yeah.
This, again, instead of doing the thing about trying to condense it all into one and making it 3 hours and making it something that would probably infuriate people, like, oh, they skipped this, they ignored that. But at the same time, yeah, they got to see if this, even though they probably know this movie will make money no matter what. I think
It's
they
gonna
just
make
want
a
to be
billion.
I think they just want to be confident about how much money they'll put into finishing the next one, compared to, because again, they're going to spend a lot to market it, even though it's the most easy movie to market ever
Yeah.
made. But still, they're going to bombard you with advertisements over the. I mean, obviously, Super Bowl Sunday, we'll see another version of the trailer, and then some other movies that have trailers. No Doomsday talks. I mean, trailer talks still.
Marvel
Still
said
don't.
nothing because they don't
Yeah,
need it. It's the movies that don't
because
need
it's
it. It's
not
like,
finished. That's why.
yeah, they said they still shooting Doom 3. I'm like, y'all sure it's gonna come out this year?
And again a brief snippet of Jafar Jackson's acting in this movie, and I mean acting at in terms of him saying lines. He's got the acting in terms of copying the choreography and the movements. He's got that down pat, but he only just has really one or two lines where he's like, I don't think I want to go on the tour." Like,
But you know what? Everybody has said he looks just like the
yeah.
man. He sounds exactly like. I mean, it's genetic. So how can you fail? And then I've heard him actually sing before. I mean, we're
And you and I had talked about the Oscar chances in our private messages. I think Colman Domingo will be
yeah,
a front runner for sure, because he's been nominated twice already for movies
yeah.
that a lot of people didn't see. I don't think Jafar Jackson will get. He probably will get nominated, but he's not a winner for sure, because that would be. I don't think anyone would ever come out of complete nowhere like that and win for their first acting role. I think that's unprecedented where that would be the case.
Also, they want to see how the second one plays out. So he may or may not. I don't even think he gets nominated for this because they want to see what's going to happen with that second one, and then give him a nomination.
Colman Domingo will probably be the favorite for this one because Joe Jackson's role in the latter part of his life isn't as big as it is for the first part of his life.
You know what's crazy? This might not
on a major scale.
This are more unlikely because they're kind of changing everything thanks to Center. This will probably get nominated for Best Picture, but if it doesn't, I wouldn't be surprised. Because what they'll say is we just look at it like a blockbuster.
I think Bohemian Rhapsody got nominated for Best Picture, and this already looks way better than Bohemian Rhapsody did.
Yeah. I mean, and then what's his name? Rami Malek.
Rami Malek, yeah.
Yeah, he won for Best Actor, and I think that was his first time being nominated.
But he had been an actor for years, is what I'm saying. Jafar Jackson coming out of nowhere, like I said, like that'd be unprecedented, where like no one's ever seen you in anything, and people only know about you because again you're the nephew of the guy you're playing. It would have been like if O'Shea Jackson Jr. won for playing Ice Cube,
right?
Well, she wasn't bad at playing Ice Cube. He was actually pretty good, but it's just I think of like, no one's ever seen you act before. Now,
I mean, when you're in a house for somebody for 20 plus years, what you gonna do? Not be able to act like them? I'm pretty sure you got like Big Mike, and you ain't been in the house 20 plus years.
It was nominated for Best Picture, Bohemian Rhapsody, because it won for Best Actor, which is Best Film Editing, worst edited film ever, Best Sound Editing, and Best Sound Mixing. All because you had to play the tapes. That's why. Rami Malek didn't do any singing, and which is why it was bullshit when they didn't recognize Taron Egerton the next year for Rocket Man for doing the actual singing.
Yeah.
In the movie,
and that's a better movie anyway.
I haven't seen Rocket Man, unfortunately. I've only seen Bohemian Rhapsody. But Michael, Fast X. I'm sorry, I almost thought it was a good segue, but we had So last week, Fast 11, aka Fast Forever, is what they're calling it, was announced. Rome asked about this on the last episode. I said we weren't going to talk about it until you got here. But there's also not much to talk about. I had said after the Oscar nominations, when Dwayne Johnson wasn't nominated, that we would hear Fast 11 would be in production. However, he is not tagged with this story. Only so maybe he's still trying. Well, right now he's filming Jumanji, and it seems like he's only focused on that. But also he's doing a lot of these pity party. Oscar, I didn't get Oscar nomination, like speaking engagements. Funny, he gave a speech for Emily Blunt being one of like Vogue's or something like that, women of the year, and he had said he did the annoying thing like as a father of 3 girls. I'm just like, gee, like, all right, we get it. Like, don't throw it in my face. All right, you're a girl dad. Fuck off, you're a dad, all right? You don't gotta distinguish between the two. And then, of all people, he was interviewed by David O. Russell at a speaking engagement, and David O. Russell was just like, this guy's made $9 billion. I only saw it for 5 seconds because I'm like, there's no way I can watch a clip of these two assholes having a conversation, because who could put them in a room together? Like,
right. Look at the egos involved.
Yeah, you want to talk about a guy who has control over his movie and a guy who's going to ruin his movie? Like, for them to sit and have a conversation is baffling to me. So, as of right now, Dwayne Johnson, even though it was set up for him to be in Fast 11 based off the way Fast 10 ended, which that movie comes out. We had done an episode of White Noise about it. I had said I was more disappointed in Fast X than I was in Fast 9. And don't forget, I was pretty disappointed in Fast 9 because you always like to bring up the night I left. I mean, the night I sent out a tweet that you woke up out of an Undertaker slumber to go to see. So Fast X, again, way worse than Fast 9. And Fast 9, way worse than Hobbs and Shaw. So what is Fast Forever going to be? It's going to be a bunch of bullshit, because they are keen on bringing back Brian O'Connor. And speaking of AI,
I told Antonio, he don't believe me. I told him.
Remember when I joked that they should have treated him like Lightning McQueen, like he just never gets out of his car and he honks to answer yes and honks to answer no.
Yeah.
That was a good dickhead joke about that. They're just like, "Hey, Brian," he goes, "Mm-mm." Like, "All right, Brian," like, but
that's right.
But yeah, exactly. Like, and then like he still a buster in the car turns on its headlights, like signaling so. But yeah, there's no Dwayne Johnson. The rest of the cast, exactly. Yet the rest of the cast needs this just as much because what has Ludacris been up to? He's been dropping out of MAGA events. What's Michelle Rodriguez been up to? We haven't seen her since Fast 9.
Speaking of studs,
would that be a stud you would take down?
Absolutely.
Back in the day, back in the first Fast and Furious and SWAT, but not anything since then.
She a little tough.
Yeah, too tough.
But yeah, she got grit to her.
But her in the first Fast and the Furious and SWAT for sure, but nothing past then. Even though she kind of looked all right in
Resident Evil.
In Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious.
The fourth one.
Yeah.
Which ironically, that trailer came out that Super Bowl, which was the Cardinals Steelers Super Bowl.
Damn, yeah, that was that year.
It was, yeah. Because the next year is 2010 Packers Steelers, yeah. And when I saw that Fast and Furious, and when he drifts under the oil tanker on fire, I looked at like my dad and I think my grandfather. I was like, yes, and they're like, stupid. But yeah, Tyrese. What's Tyrese been up to? He's been kind of quiet, so maybe that's a good thing.
Oh no, he finally taking medicine. His psych medicine.
Jordana Brewster's been trying to get other roles, and again, she can't act. John Cena, he'll be revived from the dead, but he's in Matchbox, which will come out later this year, which is based off the Matchbox cars, Matchbox toys.
That's how you know he'll be in this.
Yep. Sung Kang, he has his own racing movie coming out this year called Drifter, which I think he directed and still financed a lot of. That'll be interesting to check out. Maybe we'll talk about that at some point this year.
Oh, you mean Jerome Kang? Since we just giving everybody names like that.
Well, don't forget, people saw that picture of him and his family, and they saw he had a black father, and his sister was a little darker skinned than him. But I think the story is that's his stepfather. But that's his sister's actual biological father, maybe.
Yeah, that's how it works, people. Sometimes it just happens that way.
That's your future soon.
Well, right.
Yeah.
Two Banks.
You're going to be the father of Jerome Kang Banks.
Jerome Kang Banks is crazy.
That's the name of the episode. But
hey, you still ain't seen The Last Dragon, huh?
No, don't ruin the final quarter of the episode. We're gonna get to it. Who else am I forgetting? Jason Momoa has been busy, but he'll obviously be back.
He'll be the villain. Hey, that's somebody that don't miss no paycheck.
And not missing no meals because he is letting himself go these days.
You would too. Damn, I got another movie. Who he playing this year? He playing.
Oh no, I thought you would say I would too because women will still flock to him regardless. He could be 400 pounds and still get women.
They ain't saying nothing lately, but it don't matter.
The one he has is, but no offense to the great Lisa Bonet, but the one he has better. The one he has now is better. Adria Jorna. Who is it? She's the girl. I'll show you. She's gonna be the love. She's gonna be the love interest in the Michael B. Jordan Thomas Crown remake.
What?
She's in stuff you haven't seen. That's why you don't recognize her.
All right, bro. That's another dude. He know how to find some light skinned women too. Michael B. Jordan.
There's a story about that movie in terms because it originally was Taylor Russell, and I just texted you what she looks like. Taylor Russell was supposed to play the love interest and then dropped out like as the shooting had just started, and they had been rumored to possibly be dating, so maybe it seemed like a story.
Hold on, brother.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Hold on, let me get back on camera. Let me see if I can still do it.
And this is the woman people want to be the new Wonder Woman for James Gunn's universe.
Hold on, let me see. Let me look one more time. Let me see it again. I ain't see it. Damn, he know how to pick them.
Yeah. So again,
he's a fine motherfucker, Jack.
Exactly, and he got her as he was gaining this fast X weight. So at this point, like I said, he could be Anyway, as long as he
Now
doesn't
he
like
about
get a
20 years her senior, but you know, don't hate the player, hate the
well,
game.
Lisa Bonet was 20 years his senior, so he's like, I learned my lesson. Now I gotta flip it. You gotta do the script flip. You flip the
Low
script.
key, and she's of age, people. She 33 years old, so
No,
she
yeah,
a
it's
grown
just
ass
he's a
woman.
guy who's shockingly old, which is why the Lisa Bonet thing was like, wait, she's almost
60.
55.
Yeah.
No, when they got together, when they were like, when people had figured out they had been together, like she's almost 55 and he's almost 35. Like, what the hell? Because he was someone who took years to get famous.
Hey, but check this out though. You see Lisa Bonet?
To this day.
Yeah, even though she be smoking them Newports still.
Who else? Oh, Charlize Theron definitely needs the work, even though she's in movies. But she's gonna.
Do she?
Don't forget that. Don't forget the person who definitely needs to work the most is the person they revived from the dead as well, being Gal Gadot.
Yeah. Well, no. She good.
Well, she's good in the other type of way.
Yeah, she's saying no. We need more ice. But
okay, no. No. So yeah, that's pretty much all the.
But no, let me talk shit about her. Her trashiness. Her husband a billionaire. She alright.
Well, and she's because she was Mossad trained, so she can handle herself in a fight.
Now you go too far. I was just talking about the pockets.
It's true. It's true.
Now you got to bring up
I think she
shit.
could beat Michelle Rodriguez in a real fight. Who are you picking?
Dude, she probably could beat up. I don't know if I should say God rest his soul. She could beat up Gaddafi. Yeah, we saying some names. Let's go.
Anwar Sadat.
Yes.
Saddam.
Yeah, I was about to say that's her OG.
Who are the other ones? Gaddafi's a good one. Not in terms of a reference, son.
Let me tell y'all something. Y'all look up Gal Gadot. Hey, beat up people? No, she know how I take blade and I just
yeah, that Wesley Snipes blade shit. Yeah,
like the Great Khali. She could body the Great Khali. You cannot hit me. You cannot hit me.
And we're Alan Richardson, aka Thad Castle, was in the last one. Who knows if he'll return?
Bruh, hold on. I gotta cut you off. No, all these people ain't. They gonna keep it street level. All these people ain't coming back.
That is the biggest lie of it. How can you you would and you were
the
in the
budget
Hoover Dam.
200 million.
They were in the Hoover Dam, even though it wasn't the Hoover Dam, but they were at the Hoover Dam. How are you gonna travel all the way to East LA?
Dude, the budget only 200 million. They better figure it out.
Yeah. But
then the AI for Paul Walker, that's gonna cost like shit 80 million.
I don't even want to think about that because it's gonna be so disgusting. Alan Richardson.
But now we got the technology for it, so it's gonna look.
We
scary.
don't. All these AI.
Yeah, the deep fake shit, dude. That was AI.
No, but I'm saying like the full render AI, like movies where there's no stand-ins. It's all AI, basically CGI, but still like all those.
But you know they probably gonna put them in like maybe 5 scenes at the most.
And that's 5 scenes too many.
Yeah, because they got to do it. Because you did it the movie before. Yes, they do. Because the movie before he pulled up, even though he didn't get out the car.
That was their own. Again, go self-sabotage booking. Know how to don't fuck with your story. Damn it.
They got to do that. Then they got to bring it back to where was he when they went to the Hoover Dam. Then they got to get back to LA. So it's like, bro, the budget only gonna be $200 million. You can't.
Not the Hoover Dam, but
wherever the fuck they was. Nova Scotia. I don't know.
No, I'm just saying it is the Hoover Dam. That's the point. It wasn't the Hoover Dam, but they just made it was the European Hoover Dam.
Yeah, where they made the James Bond ending when the graphics of the car falling.
It was European. I didn't kill my wife. Damn, like, but I gotta say this. Alan Richardson was in the last one. He has a movie that I didn't put on my list because based off the guy who made it, being Patrick Hughes, who made the Expendables 3, and then he did the Hitman Bodyguard franchise with Ryan Reynolds and Sam Jackson. Movies I haven't seen because they look just god-awful.
Yeah.
He made this movie called War Machine. The trailer just came out. It's a Netflix movie. And Alan Richardson is playing like the ultimate... He's playing like the John Cena of soldiers. And like after they do all these training drills, the final training drill is this mission, and on this mission they encounter like a literal war machine Who knows if it's alien invented or manufactured.
Say this again. What movie is this?
It's called War Machine. Watch the trailer after. It looks really good. I'm
Marvel ain't gonna sue them.
Well, Netflix already had a movie called War Machine in the 2010s that Brad Pitt was in, and that was a comment, and that was like wasn't a satire, but it was like a dark comedy drama about obviously the wars in the Middle East. It had a semi-stacked cast for the time, but this is funny enough. This goes back to an old episode of Cheap Pete where Greg had mentioned the movie because remember, don't forget the Viking Raiders were originally called War Machine when they were on the Indies and ROH in New Japan, but the reason they changed the name isn't just because Vince would probably hate something like war, but there was an MMA fighter named War Machine who had a disgusting story, and obviously stuff happened last night that we're not talking about given the James Pierce thing, but it was in line with that of what this guy War Machine did. So it seemed like that's why they changed their name. So when you Googled War Machine, he wouldn't pop up. This is a good one by Rome. It might as well be a dream because Hobbs and Shaw. I'm hearing myself back on your end. Hobbs and Shaw takes place on Earth too, as I keep pointing out, because he has a sister out of nowhere, being Deckard Shaw. So Fast 10 was all a dream. Like that would make much more sense than. And again, like the girl had the sister. Shout out to again Prussia being Danielle Melanchoire. She came out of nowhere. That didn't make sense. That his baby mama had a sister the whole time and a young sister. Like, okay.
So
that's just
Rome, you basically saying this Inception.
I mean, they've already lost me. They could lose me even more. But
no, if they do that, I'm walking out the theater. The moment they say they was hooked up to some nano machines, I'm done.
I just told this to Kiki because even though I didn't have Avengers Doomsday on my top 10 list, I probably will see it still. But even at the same time, the more I think about it, the more angry I get and the more I don't want to see it. And I've seen every Marvel movie since Guardians of the Galaxy in theaters.
Well, again, like I said, I'll be the escape dummy. I'll be there December.
But to wrap it up, so you remember 2 years ago when we were recording, I said, thanks for Black History Month. I'm going to start watching a lot of Black movies that I haven't seen before. And let me bring up the list for the ones in 2024. We'd only, I think, briefly talked about it because we delayed it on and on because other stuff was happening. And 2024 was a wild year. But in 2024, here are the films I watched, and here's what I rated. I watched American Fiction, a movie I liked. That was a movie that won Best Adapted Screenplay for Cord Jefferson. That's the Jeffrey Wright movie with Sterling K. Brown, Erica Alexander. I recommend watching if you haven't. I gave that 3.5 stars. I watched Malcolm X for the first time. I gave that 4.5 stars. Phenomenal movie. Dot had brought this up on an episode one time because he said on his high school basketball team when they would do the starting lineups, one of the guys shouted, "Get your hands out my pockets," which I told you after watching that movie, I'm like, one, why was that a phrase? And two, when it was said the first time, why didn't anyone react and be like, hey, what the fuck was that about? Like, and it's Wendell Pierce who says that line. Perry White in Superman is the guy who says, "Get your hands out my pockets," and then repeats it on the day he's killed. But the entire the Sam Cooke song lead up when he's driving and his family's driving, and they do I think they also do the Spike Lee camera trick where you're on the rig and the camera's following you. But phenomenal movie, phenomenal performance. Watch Ryan Coogler's Criterion Closet about, well, he picks a number of films, but he talks about Malcolm X, and he says it has probably one of the greatest intros in movie history, and also probably one of the greatest endings in movie history.
Yeah.
And here's where this movie is one of the best. I only do it out of love, but he talks about it where it's like Spike Lee's masterpiece, Malcolm X. I'm going to take this home with me today. So Malcolm X 4.5 stars. The Last Black Man in San Francisco. I liked it. Very artfully made. Again, this is the movie where you can see why people thought Jonathan Majors was going to be a star.
And he played the same role every movie after this.
I know, but because he's so good at it. I don't want to keep defending the man, but I'll keep defending the role.
Being an incel, yelling at the, what did he say when he was in the mirror? You remember the line? I remember the line, but what's up, man?
But Joe Talbot hasn't made a movie since then. The guy who directed this film, he's been making one, and that movie, let me see, is called The Governesses. Yes, 3 rebellious governesses upend the household they work in, inspiriting the minds of the males in their care, igniting the imaginations of the Bohemian culture who employ them, and abandoning their charges for erotic adventures. And the stars of this movie are Lily Rose Depp, an Asian actress called Oyen, and then
what's the name again?
Oyen, because I don't know if you pronounce the H in Korea.
No, you said it right.
And then Renee, the name I can't say, the French actress from The Worst Person in the World. Oh, Norwegian. My apologies. From The Worst Person in the World and Sentimental Value. I can never say her name, no matter how many times I hear it. But this is a movie about San Francisco, shot beautifully. Like just it's a little long, but it's a movie that's slow paced in a way that's enjoyable, just in terms of you're watching a painting. And then you're also watching 4 really good performances. The guy, Jimmy Fails, as the lead is really good, despite not really being like a trained actor or a fully trained actor. Jonathan Majors is good. Danny Glover is great in it. And Tanisha Arnold is great in her 2 scenes.
Yeah, she was in that.
Yeah.
Pam.
But, and I forget, Rob Morgan is great, particularly in his one scene where he criticizes his son for dressing this way when he's like, I know damn well you dress like them skateboarders. And it's good. It's a good movie about Bay Area culture and obviously San Francisco being more avant-garde and the prestige. Because the other movie I watched in the same year, which is the flip side, the Oakland side of the Bay Area, which was Blind Spotting, a movie I really enjoyed until the last 10 minutes, where Daveed Diggs has to go full Hamilton and rap his character's emotions and all that. But until then, phenomenally shot, phenomenally acted, powerful movie, especially again about the Oakland side, which is a side I was more familiar with. The white guy in his movie, who's Daveed Diggs' best friend, they both wrote this movie and they both had a history with each other, is a type of guy I probably am, but I say I would have been more turned up if I had stayed in the Bay Area. Being, the white guy in the black crew with the black girlfriend and all that, and the talks style and all that, like that. Again, like that was a movie that hit home. That's one of the few movies that really hit home to me on a personal level, being Blind Spotting. I gave that 3.5 stars. I gave Space Jam: A New Legacy 1 star.
Yeah.
One of the worst movies I've ever seen. Pure garbage.
Yeah, I ain't seen it in 5 years since it came out.
I can't believe they made this. I can't believe Ryan Coogler produced this.
Hey, bro, deals.
Yeah.
I got to work with LeBron. He want to be an actor, but I don't think he can do his acting thing.
The original Space Jam.
See, people, we can do that shit. You know why? Because it's like
one of my favorite movies of all time. So to bastardize it with a sequel like this, and again, this was an HBO day in day out movie. God awful. The short film.
I forgot about that movie. I ain't gonna lie.
The short film Two Distant Strangers, which is a good short film. I would recommend you watching it. It's on Netflix.
What is it called?
Two Distant Strangers. Joey Badass is the star. I would say he might kind of be the only. I'd say he kind of might be the only issue with it, just because his acting style isn't bad. It's just you can tell this guy's not an actor.
That's what I'm saying, because it's like, I like him in Power, but look what I like him in.
But this won the Oscar that year for Best Short Film. And then I watched again. So to reiterate, what qualifies for my list, because Rome had a comment: watch Deliver Us from Ava and Love and Basketball. The point of it is, like I said, it's movies I haven't seen. I've seen Love and Basketball, probably within the last 8 years or so. Yeah, so not recently. Deliver Us from Ava, I haven't seen. But
Great movie.
my criteria is it either has to be written or directed by a black person, starring a black lead or a predominantly black cast. Because there are qualifiers where there are predominantly black casts, but white directors or white writers or people of other descent. Because I think the point of Blind Spotting too, I think that director is Latino descent. Yeah, Carlos Lopez Estrada. Yep,
Damn.
Mexican filmmaker. So that's my point where
That's for the full cycle bill.
I have, again, it's my own criteria where it has to at least be 75% black, like I said, if it stars or people behind the camera being the writers and directors, the ones responsible. But those two would obviously qualify, Rome, the ones you'd mentioned. Like so I'm not trying. And the reason I have Juice is because my mom had directed Juice probably when I was in middle school, but I don't really remember watching it. So that was my first time seeing it from start to finish. And you can see Ernest Dickerson, that guy behind the camera.
Man, this is scared.
Yes, yep.
You know that's Christian, a horror movie, right?
Yeah, I can. Again, that Kiki says it's her favorite horror movie, and that Tupac Bishop is her favorite horror villain besides Michael Myers. Yes, we talked about this years ago on our 90s episode, Tristan. So go back to the episode.
Man, Tristan was there, dog. He went out a long time.
No, but I'm saying, but remember, I said I watched House Party for the first time because then I watched House Party 2 right after. And I think I had asked the guys on BRP this if Give Up the Rhythm was something people legit said, because the guy who's trying to get Tisha Campbell Martin says he was mad his girl didn't give up the rhythm. I'm like, is that what guys said back then to try to be like, you didn't get no play instead? But in that more lyrical way
on the East Coast, because you got to remember they in the South.
But no, here's how I'll always remember House Party in terms of watching it, because you pointed out the other girl is the mom from Baby Boy, and I was like, holy shit, she was. Yeah. Like I'm like, why is this? And I'm like, she looked good in Baby Boy, and she looked good back then. Like, God damn.
And she looked good now, and she said she like having more than one spouse. So I need that goose egg.
But so Juice, yeah, like I said, Ernest Dickerson, who was Spike Lee's cinematographer for his first few films. This was his directorial debut, I think. I like Juice. I gave it 3.5. Again, Tupac really should have been more of an actor than he was a rapper.
Why is that?
He has that look. His best acting role is obviously Above the Rim because he has more to do. But he
was a horror villain in that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not so.
But he has the screen presence that most guys wish they had. Yeah. And not just with the women, because obviously he shows up on screen. And there's the Different World episode where he shows up and like the crowd loses their mind.
That was just Jada Pinkett. That was just her laugh track.
But yeah, the more roles he would have done would have improved. I mean, he's good in Poetic Justice. I know Don Hayes.
Gridlock?
I think that's the only film of his I haven't seen is Gridlocked. Maybe what was the other one he did? Didn't he do Gang Related? I don't think I've seen that either.
Well, Mickey Rourke.
No, Gridlocked is the Mickey Rourke. No, Gang Related is the one he did with Jim Belushi.
Gridlock is with I was about to say Eric
Tim Roth.
Yeah.
Bullet, that's what he did with Mickey Rourke. I haven't seen those.
Hey, Mickey Rourke to this day, he like, anybody say something about Pop? I'll beat that.
Yeah. I fucked some up about Joe Burrow. That's Mickey Rourke. And should I be the name of that? I'll fuck someone up about Tupac. So Juice, I gave 3.5 stars. Yeah, it is a horror movie. The weirdest thing about Juice, is Omar Epps' fully adult girlfriend. Well, that's he's weird. In high school. Yeah, she's a full-on nurse, and he's barely a junior.
You know that used to happen. It still kind of happens.
But when she kicks out the old guy, she was fucking for Omar Epps. Call the cops. Like, be a hater and call the cops. This woman's a pederast. Like, what are you doing? You see young Omar Epps This kid's barely 17 and you're just letting this happen. I know it's 1992, right?
Hey, oldest right, longest line.
And who was the actress in that? It was Cindy Herron, and she was in Batman. Who was she in Batman Forever? She must have just had a side role. Yeah, because she didn't do much of anything else since. But yeah, Juice, I gave 3.5 stars. I watched because it was released that year. The Book of Clarence. I didn't hate this movie. I can understand why people didn't fuck with it. Do you remember this movie? The Keith Stanfield movie?
Taylor.
Exactly.
Soundtrack was weak.
This was James Samuel's follow-up to The Harder They Fall, a movie I really like. The Western with that's the only time Jonathan Majors, that and Kang in Quantum Mania were the only time he didn't play the incel type character. Yeah. Which is why I say he's a great actor, because he was great as Nat Love.
No. Because you got 2 out of 5. That don't mean shit.
Okay, all right. But this was his follow-up to that. And I think this movie didn't know if it should have been a full-on parody or a full-on drama, because it straddles the line between the two. It's got great Rob Hardy cinematography, good performances, but yeah, it's just it ends on a to me a kind of fucked up joke where they crucify Clarence, but on the same day they crucify Benedict Cumberbatch as white Jesus. Yeah. And that's how history misinterprets Jesus for being white. That's what it's not it's a movie that made me think, like I said, it's clever, but it's not clever enough. But it's also not. It's also, like I said, maybe you should have taken yourself less seriously.
Because the Jigga Man had to produce that. You feel me?
Yes.
So that's why. Then anything he do, oh, this is immaculate. Oh, this is great.
Omar Sy, who's good. R.J. Seiler was great in it. Yeah. Alfred Woodard, Tiana Taylor. Anna Diop, who was Starfire. Yes, she was his love interest. She's good in it. But yeah, to me, the whole time, once it ended, I was like, my review of it on Letterboxd it made me think of the Matthew Vaughn movie Argylle, which came out in the same year, and I think within the same span of a few weeks. And the point of Argylle, as I documented on this show, was it's not a real book. They made the story up, and then they came up with the book after. But the whole point of Argylle was like, this shit's a piss take. Like, it's a joke within a joke, but it's not even supposed to be a funny joke, because it ends and it wants you to take it seriously because it's tied to the Kingsman. So I'm like, are you trying to be? Are you mad, man? Because James Samuel is also British, I think. Are you mad?
So Argylle is tied up to the Kingsman?
Yes, but when I reviewed it to you, I'm not saying like I'm mad that you forgot, but like the point, Argylle ends where Argylle didn't exist until at the end Henry Cavill does stand up and says he is Argylle. So it's another thing of like, did she get incepted with this guy's story? But the end credit scene is the Kingsman pub, like the Kingsman tailor shop. There's a Kingsman pub, and there's this kid who's dressed like Henry Cavill's character just was, but younger, and he's given a gun by this older guy, and he's like, "What's your name, kid?" And he goes, Archie Argylle or Augie Argylle. I'm like, that's when. So I'm like, is it a movie within a movie? Like it baffled my.
I might have to tap in because now I get the joke.
That's right, but it's all a joke, and it was a thing where I'm like, a lot of people were mad at it. I mean, I still fuck with Matthew Vaughn, but it was a thing where I'm like, what? Again, like, what 3D chess are you trying to play?
You know what it is? They try to do this because Split had a lot of influence on those type of movies, despite the fact that people don't talk about Split as much as they should. Remember Split, the gave away, you was like, maybe this got something to do with, goddamn Mr. Glass and them. Yeah, Unbreakable.
Yeah.
You was like, maybe you got something, but I'm just gonna watch it. And then when they gave it away, you said, son of a bitch, they got me.
because they didn't give it away in the trailer, unlike
at all.
Unlike a movie that came out the year prior to Split, because Split's 2017. The movie I'm about to mention is from 2016, which is 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
The first trailer, if it had a different title, you would have never guessed it would have been a Clover Lane. But the whole reason to sell the movie was using Cloverfield. And the irony is Dan Trachtenberg, who directed that movie, directed Prey, Predator, Killer of Killers, Predator Badlands, and the pilot to The Boys. He just signed a 3-year deal with Paramount. Again, so they're locking guys up, and women too, but they're locking creatives up because he'll be going. And there's a
thing do something because they ain't gonna have from Warner Brothers catalog.
Yeah, but so that was Book of Clarence, 2.5 stars. And again, since I'm not a religious person, it didn't get me on a blasphemy level of like, oh, what they're doing to the Bible and all that. It didn't offend me that way. I watched Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins.
Classic.
I gave that 2 stars.
No, you tripping. 5 stars. One of the greatest comedies ever.
I love Michael Clark Duncan and Mike Epps in this movie.
Use better get a strikeout or use.
This movie kind of pointed out that Cedric the Entertainer didn't really click with me as much as I thought he might have. Seeing him as a kid, so seeing him as an adult, I'm like, Cedric the Entertainer kind of like annoys me. And that's what this movie pointed out. I've just never really been into Joy Bryant. So
she into you.
So that being his love interest and him dumping her for Nicole Rory Parker, I'm like, okay, that made much more sense to me. But it's got James Earl Jones, and again, James Earl Jones, all time great. But for Malcolm D. Lee, and Tristan had just said, Tristan said he hates The Best Man. Obviously, Malcolm D. Lee being a filmmaker like his relative Spike Lee, but obviously not to the grand scale. This just goes to show, there were moments I laughed. It's a funny movie at times, but overall, I just didn't think it was that good. And then I watched The Players Club. I gave that 2 stars.
Brother,
when
I see Ronnie, I give myself 2 thumbs up.
Crystal Wilson, Lisa Raitt, those are the only reason they got 2, and Bernie Mac were the only reason they got 2 stars. But my point being, Ice Cube's a shitty director because this movie looks terrible.
He directed that?
Yes.
Never knew that. Almost 30 years later.
Yep. He's a horrible director. And a lot of the comedy doesn't work for me. This is also another movie that pointed out, maybe I really don't fuck with Faison Love that much.
Nobody does. You ain't the only one.
In terms of again, as someone who comes on the screen, am I like, this guy's annoying? Yeah, I started to feel that way.
He's just a fat fuck.
But a lot of the comedy that isn't Bernie Mac, like I said, falls flat to me. I think if it had been a drama, like it is half the movie, Rome, I've seen Boomerang, yeah. I've mentioned that when we talked about the Eddie Murphy documentary and how that period where he, again, used his handsomeness to be, a leading man in the romantic way, he should have done that more. But since Boomerang pissed a lot of people off, he didn't.
Greatest romantic comedy ever. Greatest rom-com ever.
But yeah, Players Club, again, I love what I'm seeing in terms of at the strip club, but as an overall movie, no, it's just not a good movie. Jamie, like if it tried to be a romantic drama about her and Jamie Foxx, it would have made much more sense.
Yeah.
And also a really dark movie given the last 30 minutes. But a realistic dark 30 minutes. And then the last movie and this is the 2024 period.
They got to bring back the Players Club with OnlyFans.
Well, that's the thing, and that it kind of will get to a movie that I'll reference on my list in the future that I'll talk about. But and also I watched in 2024 the Patrice O'Neal documentary Killing Is Easy. I gave that 3 stars. Again, I was introduced to Patrice O'Neal by you in terms of his comedy and his work on O&A. The documentary really skips over a lot of the O&A stuff. That's kind of why I gave it 3 stars. I'm like, it does a good job of telling his life story. and his comedy roots, obviously, and again, it's speaking to people. And this was made in 2021 is when it came out. But it really doesn't dive into the O&A stuff. And then that does matter because it briefly talks about the Black Phillip stuff. Because Bobby Kelly mentions like he got all into that pimp shit, and that kind of might have been his downfall the last couple years of his life. But really depressing in terms of like, yeah, when they get into those last 2 years of his life. But it's still a good documentary. If you're a fan of his work on O&A or of his comedy, I say check it out. It's on Paramount Plus because it's a Comedy Central documentary. So, First Barbershop is underrated. It's an okay movie. It's a movie I don't often rewatch. In Too Deep, I haven't seen In Too Deep, and
you ain't no cop.
I don't want to watch In Too Deep because why are we setting movies in Cincinnati? Like, no offense, Chloe, no offense, but why are we setting In Too Deep?
Man, that's a good ass movie. You ain't no cop, JR. You ain't no cop.
All right, and then 2025. We weren't potting last year, so you didn't get to hear what I watched last year. Captain America: Brave New World. This does qualify. Black lead, black director, black writer. So it actually fit my criteria. But Brave New World
blacked out the entire movie. Go ahead.
And yeah, I gave it 2.5 stars. It's
one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
No, I've seen The Electric State is way worse than that. And Anthony Mackie's in the Electric State. He had a bad year last year, Anthony Mackie.
Did you see the Spike Lee joint?
His She Hate Me?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, no.
You gotta tap in. You never see Bamboozled?
All right. So let me skip to Bamboozled, which is what I watched last year. I gave it 4 stars.
Yeah, that's the scariest movie I've ever seen in my life.
Bamboozled, it's probably one of Spike Lee's best made movies because he shoots.
It's his best movie.
Well, that's what it has to be Malcolm X.
Because it's a biopic.
It is. That's why I fucked with it, because it was realistic in terms of for that time period, and especially today, in terms of what someone will do for the money. But I'm saying best made in terms of the way he shoots the office stuff and the stuff in the real world with the ugly digital style of that era. And then for the TV show, it's perfect quality, perfect lighting. Like when they put on the minstrel show, he's showing you the focus on like, that's how well we're going to treat this, because that's how well they're seeing it in their fictionalized world. But Damon Wayans with a weird voice. This is my speaking voice. I have trained myself to talk this way. I am not one of those. I don't own a television. Sports. Like, again, Damon Wayans can act. And unfortunately, he really didn't get the chance to show that a lot.
They all can.
No, I know. But I mean, that.
But him, yeah.
But no, I mean, him, he could have done it more if Hollywood would have allowed him. Or if he was willing to play the game, unfortunately. Again, Jada Pinkett, I'll get to her when I get to another movie I watched that she's in. But I'll say this, but the ending is the weakest part. When we see a murder on live television, which again, it rings true to today, given everything that goes on, and she shows up with the gun to shoot him, and he now has the blackface on him. The ending I didn't fuck with as much as I fucked with the whole great Paul Mooney scene where he basically tells him the game. That was the best part to me. Tommy Davidson good in it.
You gotta smile. You gotta smile. That's the only way they would like you, if you smile.
And that's where he drops the fake voice and speaks to him like Damon Wayans normally speaks. The most realistic use of Michael Rappaport, because the way he talks, and then when he has the blackface on him, again, it's just phenomenal movie.
Oh no, he had a field day with that.
Yeah, and that's my problem and this speaks to the Cody Rhodes Raheem thing.
Right, I'm about to say, is he welcome to the barbecue?
And I'm saying this like how people treat me. You give a white person a way in, you give them a little too much. Look what happens.
Well, Davis, you ain't wore blackface yet.
No, but what I'm saying is I'm someone who knows what to do and what not to do. And I know what levels to take it to and whatnot. There are other people who once they get that comfortability, they exert it to the fullest. Michael Rappaport obviously is one of those, I should say. But Bamboozled was
What do you mean one of those?
White guys who thinks because he fucks with black people, he can get away with shit.
Okay, I thought you was about to say
no. Okay, so Bamboozled. I watched Sorry to Bother You, which I know you hate.
It's just fucking weird. I was in the theater like when the horse thing. I said, yeah, I walked out.
I watched Sorry to Bother You, which I gave 3 stars, and I watched I'm a Virgo, the TV show that Boots Riley also did. So why did you like one? They're both fucking weird. Why did you like one more than the other?
Virgo was less weird. He was just a giant. He's
a giant.
He's Andre the Giant.
No, he's bigger than Andre the Giant. He's Galactus.
Oh. And then he's eating Whataburger, and he's with Denzel Washington's daughter. And Mike Epps was his dad. It was a good movie. I mean, a good show.
Walton Goggins was the evil superhero. Yeah. I'll say this because, and that's the thing. When we did the movie preview show, I overlooked it. Boots Riley has a movie coming out this year. The trailer just dropped a few weeks ago. Keke Palmer. You're more into her than I am. Naomi Aki, who's low-key pressure. But my girl, Taylor Page. Whew, she's in this. See, here you go with that.
She like, what's her name? What's her name? Tessa Thompson.
Now you really want to. And then I pull out my gun. Like,
yeah, both of them. Look, I know they LA girls, but
and Tristan just said it looks crazy. It does, like most of Boots Riley stuff. Again, Bay Area guy, Bay Area Films is what, or projects is what he's making, because I Am a Virgo's a mini series.
Hey, you can't trust dudes like that with their hair. When they got hair like that and they light skin, they into the arts. They some freak bulls.
You mean when they have afros and then 1970s sideburns?
Yeah, that means something off for them, bro. This movie is going to have a catch-22.
Which did I enjoy more? Because I'm Sorry to Bother You was shorter, I probably enjoyed it more. I felt I'm a Virgo stretched its story too long. But he does have great commentary on the world with the electrical outages in the Bay Area, the art scene in the Bay Area with Tessa Thompson's character, and I'm Sorry to Bother You. His work, I enjoy it. I always enjoy people who are willing to be that creative, that extra in their creativity.
Yeah.
And then again, for a guy who started out as a musician to become a filmmaker, his movies look well. The writing's the only weak part, because the last act of Sorry to Bother You with the Army Hammer stuff, it does that's where it got too weird for me, was that final act where like you took a turn that seemed way out of nowhere.
That's what I'm saying.
Compared to the whole movie, which made sense, again, about another movie about selling out and what it means and standing by your people, being part of the machine, corporations. And I'm a Virgo. At the end, the mess, I don't know if he felt like it could have kept going on because it ends in a cliffhanger type way. But again, it's a show about the commentary on superhero comics and movies, about fast food. Because again, he wants, like he said, he wants to eat the Whataburger. Mike Epps like, I told you about them damn burgers. They're awful. Like, you don't want to eat them. Like, Mike Epps is good in the show. Carmen Ejago, who's also good, just doesn't have as much to do as Mike Epps does. Feed and clothing your big ass, breaking my It's a good show, but yeah, Boots Riley's work. Something that was similar that I didn't fuck with, and you were angry by this, which was they cloned Tyrone.
Great movie.
I don't think it is. I gave it 2.5 stars. And we had, I think, had more of a mini discussion about this. My issue is, and funny, I read about it yesterday. They pitched it and then ended up writing the movie after pitching it. And I think that's my problem. It seems a lot of like, what if we did this? Add that. Ooh, I just came up with something. And boom. It seemed like a lot of ideas forced into something that doesn't work at the end of the day for me. I think Joel Taylor has a good eye as a director, but not as a writer. And he's actually been more used as a writer than a director.
Yeah.
I think it's a good Jamie Foxx performance. And the best scene to me was the scene in the chicken shop where Jamie Foxx starts to realize that the chicken it is contaminated. It is
Yeah.
because when they're all laughing, he's like, "This motherfucker don't even laugh," and look at him, and that's
Right.
he does. Oh, and he looks at everyone laughing, and that's when they see the white. Again, it's a movie filled with good. That's a good idea. The food's actually contaminated. The hair stuff is actually contaminated. The grape soda is actually contaminated. They don't recognize that the white people have froze, or all that. Like, it's a movie that looks good visually, and he's got a lot of long takes, a lot of oneers. But just the story and the dialogue, a lot of times, it wants to be preachy, and it just and be too serious. But I'm like, and also like, it's blaxploitation, but it's modern day. That kind of was throwing me off in a way. Like, I appreciate what you're going for. It's just not working. And then the ending being the ending pissed me off with like, ain't that you, Tyrone? It's like the whole story we just saw wasn't even the fucking. And that felt to me, it pissed me off like Us pissed me off. Jordan Peele's Us. Where like, this movie looks phenomenal. This story, could you have rewrote it? Could someone say maybe do another version?
I like Us though.
More than Nope?
Yeah. I was confused. It's like the alien showed up, but then
we'll save that for another day. We'll say that for the day when Jordan Peele makes his fourth movie, if he ever does.
Okay, so 2028.
I watched The Blackening. It was funny enough. I gave it 2.5 stars. This was directed by Tim Story, who did the first Barbershop. I just said I had. Oh no, I didn't. I just said I watched Blind Spotting, but not the show. I didn't watch the show. The show didn't look interesting to me. I'm sorry, did I say that? I'm interested. But The Blackening, this being like the parody version of what if all the black people got together and knew the tropes of the horror movie, so they could fight back. It doesn't work all the way, but I like its cast. It's got Melvin Gregg, aka Manboy. He's funny in it. Ex Mayo, the comedian, she's phenomenal in it. She's my favorite character in it.
Insecure.
Yep. Well, Yvonne Orji's barely in it. Jay Farrow's barely in it, but Antoinette Robinson, who was on the show version of Dear White People, was phenomenal. I enjoy her works and a lot of stuff. But this was Dwayne Perkins, who's the gay friend in the movie. He was the writer producer of it. Like I said, it's a lot of the comedy works, especially and by someone who is friends or friendly with a lot of black people. I could get kind of the inside jokes they were making, especially the one about spades at the end, despite not having played spades myself. That's the point of the joke. So like I said, it's just a movie I felt kind of went on a little too long. I watched Action Jackson. No offense to Carl Weathers, it's just a bad movie. It's not.
It's not. See, now you get into my territory. Now
it's horrible. It's defend it.
Hey, it is what it's supposed to be back in that day, bro. I don't know what you want me to say. He was a black superhero. What you want me to say?
And that's my thing. I'm like, God.
That was Vanity, right?
That's the best thing it has going for it is Vanity. Yeah. I mean, because I saw the last. I'm saying, so you guys think if I seen the Last Dragon? I saw it probably when I was 10, 11.
Watch it again.
12. I haven't seen it since. So seeing Vanity now, and she gets naked in Action Jackson, and she gets with Craig T. Nelson, aka Mr. Incredible. I was like, whew, I understand it.
Yeah, God bless.
I need what does T. Smell say? Oh, my mother, I need some. I need some.
Again, God bless, because she's no longer with us, Davis.
But this movie was produced by Joel Silver, and it feels like Joel Silver's response to Beverly Hills Cop, of Joe Silver being pissed off that Jerry Bruckheimer and Don Simpson made Beverly Hills Cop. So Joe Silver went, I'm going to show them. I'm going to get fucking Carl Weathers, and we're going to do Detroit City Cop. But we're going to call him Action Jackson. Why? Because he's so fucking... Which this movie proved that the way Carl Weathers was used probably was correctly, which was as the badass supporting character.
Yeah.
Like he is as Apollo Creed, like he is in Predator, like he... Again, like he was in The Mandalorian as what was it? Grief Karga, Mando, and all that. Like, but as the lead, you can see. But I think the rest of the movie is bad. I don't think he's bad as a lead. I think just the whole movie is bad. So yeah, Action Jackson, I gave that 1.5 stars. Speaking of someone who I thought worked as a lead, I gave A Low Down Dirty Shame 2.5 stars.
Tweaking. Another classic.
Shame.
Why you do that?
This was the only time I saw it in Jada Pinkett, because as I've said for years, I never saw it in Jada Pinkett. Never worked for me. This movie was the only time I'm like, hold on a second,
yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, she did look good in that. That and Different World. That's about it.
But I'm still picking Sally Richardson over her.
Yeah, no shit.
So he does the opposite. He picks Jada Pinkett over Sally Richardson.
Well, because Sally Richardson, we could have had something, but you want crazy ass.
Yeah, and that's how literally the movie ends. But that's the point of her character. She plays the femme fatale.
Did you like Rock in the movie?
Oh, Charles Dutton?
Yeah.
I thought his scene was like, oh, you gonna give me some. That was pretty. But my point about this movie is, so Keenan Ivory Wayans directed this movie.
Yeah.
And he wrote it by himself. Yep, wrote it by himself. And this movie is a serious movie. It's not a parody. It's not a flat out. You know what I mean? Like it's like him doing a straight up action movie. And
I think about that scene, that homewrecker.
and there are scenes where you can see like he's influenced by John Woo. Like he wants to try to have like those type of like action sequences. And as a lead, he kind of makes sense. Like as a straightforward lead, he kind of makes sense to me. Like he's a good looking guy. He's funny. He's tall. Like and so you believe this guy would be a badass, would be a ladies' man, would be the guy that everyone like comes to. Like, so I wish Keenan Ivory Wayans would have had another chance to make something kind of more generic action style.
They didn't get a lot of backing. It's the same thing. Like when you talked about Damien earlier, they're infamously known to create their own stuff. That's the whole reason why the Wayans brother, you got to basically buy it straight up, because they kind of just own their property. So if you ain't getting fronted from the studio, yeah, you can come out your pocket, but damn, that's a lot of money.
Literally in my review, I said I believe Keenan Ivory Wayans could have been a bigger. I would like to see him got another lead, but I also think maybe Damon kind of took some stuff he would have gotten. I think the role, like, because what this is 94, maybe Damon's already done Last Boy Scout by that point.
Yeah, because originally he thought the role was for Keenan.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I mean. And again, obviously Hollywood being racist, like you just said, they would have been canceling each other out or not even looked at. But that's my point. If the business, and that's my point in my letterbox review, if the business wasn't so racist, just like Damon, he could have been used in more of these action type movies in a believable way, like Damon in Bulletproof with Adam Sandler. It's not that good of a movie. I've only seen it once, and again, I was 10, 11 when I saw it. But speaking of Keenan Wayans, I watched for the first time ever. I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. I gave it 4 stars. I think this might be my favorite parody of all time.
Yeah.
Despite not having seen a lot of the blaxploitation movies it was paying homage to, I still understood them. And the best one was, so they have Bernie Casey in the movie, and Bernie Casey plays, and he obviously dresses up like a Shaft ripoff towards the end. That's why I thought it was so genius, is they had the guy who wasn't Shaft. He played the Shaft ripoff in Hitman, a movie that's on my list for this year. So let's have him be the Shaft character in our movie. The guy, again, the Jim Kelly movie, Black Samurai, they have the guy ripping that off with my master taught me all the styles. Ha, ha, ha. The karate guy. He's great.
Jim Brown with Isaac Hayes on the barbecue shack.
Yeah. That, which has a Chris Rock joke that RLP used for the rib girl.
Yeah. How much one rib?
One rib. But he's literally got a roll of hundreds.
Yeah.
But it's hilarious. look at all that gold. How could he go to the bathroom with all that gold on? And the throw them down the stairs joke again. Damon Wayans. Okay, we'll just throw ourselves down. Damn.
Yeah.
Dwayne
Wayne, I forgot his name.
Mm-hmm. But I thought the best joke probably was the always crying for your mama to come and save you. Like his mom always had to show up at the end of the day to fight his battles, and when he fought,
what was they called? The McDougal Queen kids or
I couldn't remember.
Or whatever, yeah.
But yeah, he's bullied by the little people. He's like, I ain't gonna call my mama. I can handle you on my own. When I see you next time, I'm gonna do it on my own. But literally at the end, in the big shootout in the warehouse, his mom still comes in to say, like, Mom, I'm just like. I thought it was genius. I loved it. Yeah, obviously had the great joke where the waitress says the line like, "What's up with her? She must be related to the director." And Keenan Wayne's is like it's genius with its again satire and parody. Oh yeah, Antonio Vargas's Fly Guy. So that scene with his outfit that's the one scene I didn't fully understand. His outfit with everyone laughing at him. I thought it was funny just because he's got this crazy ass outfit. And I know Antonio Vargas was Huggy Bear in the Starsky and Hutch TV show. And then
that's why it's funny. Because he just now getting out of jail. He got his old attire when he got locked up. So essentially this is like the sequel to Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah. And he was the father of future Raiders running back Justin Vargas. But yeah, that was the one scene where I'm like, oh, I don't think I'm fully understanding this. Like I'm understanding some of these other exploitation scenes. Oh shit, I just lost myself.
And you ever see that gif where a pimp was running down the steps? That's where that come from. Okay.
But yeah, so that was
I'm gonna get you sucker.
Speaking of Charlie Wilson. Well, here's the movie that paved the way for I'm Gonna Get You Sucker was Hollywood Shuffle. I gave it 3 stars, and I think the reason I enjoyed I'm Gonna Get You Sucker more than Hollywood Shuffle is I think Hollywood Shuffle would have made much more sense as a straightforward movie. I think the interruptions are good because the comedy in them is good in terms of what it's commentating on, like the movie trailer stuff. When they make fun of the Dirty Harry style movie and they make fun of the acting movie, and then when there's the black movie, they're like, oh, that's the shit I can't miss. That's that's like that. The scene about the where he's the detective, the Sam Spade type, and Keenan Wayans has the Jerry curl, like the stuff in his hair, like that's the weak, like don't take my spray, like that stuff was funny to me, but I think it actually just works as a straightforward drama with what Robert Townsend obviously experienced in Hollywood, which is there's not a lot of roles for black people that aren't these stereotypes, which is the whole point of him making that movie. I still think it's a beautiful movie, but to me, it didn't work as well as I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, or even as a movie that we're going to talk about next week, because we're not trying to take too much time today. But I know you love Hollywood Shuffle.
I mean, for what it did, yeah. I mean, overall story and everything is good, but the story in itself to get that movie made is good enough. It's motivation.
Yeah, it was the it was the catalyst, basically, like to kick off what we have today. And obviously a lot of obviously because Keenan's in it and works in a lot of the other and what the Wayans did since then with their movies, but it also, we probably don't, again, and he would say this himself, because I didn't even think they just did something. Ryan Coogler would say, like, Hollywood Shuffle, obviously I don't have nothing without what Robert Townsend did with that movie, and obviously about wanting to tell straightforward stories that aren't always about the stereotypes, because that scene when he's on the movie set and his little brother sees him doing that role, and it gets to him that, yeah, like, maybe I do want to make it, but not through this way. So here's what Zell had just said. Zell had said, watch some blaxploitation movies. I did the Pam Grier double feature last year. I did Coffee and Foxy Brown.
Damn.
I gave Coffee 2.5 stars, and my review was the 70s, titties everywhere, because she gets naked like 3 times in this movie. And this is prime Pam Grier. Like, no man alive would turn that down. And then other women in the movie get naked too. But then I gave Foxy Brown 1.5. and they're both made by the same guy, obviously both starring Pam Grier. And I just thought Foxy Brown was the weaker of the two, despite having the more memorable name. I thought the story about her boyfriend getting the facial reconstruction surgery, I'm like, this is kind of way ahead for the 70s. Okay. But then he gets murdered because, again, Antonio Fargas, her brother, is the one responsible for it. And then the villains in that. But I just thought Coffee worked better because it was that style. It was in the 70s, if it wasn't blaxploitation, it was R-word revenge movies that women starred in, where something had happened to them, and they wanted to right that wrong and seek vengeance on their own and become vigilantes. And it was also the time, like I said, the titties everywhere. The women in prison movies, where these women, they would get 20 women in a movie and just tell them to get naked and build a story around that. The softest of softcore porn, but still. But yeah, like I said, Jack Hill was the director of both of these movies, but I just enjoyed Coffee more than Foxy Brown. Have you seen either of these?
Yeah, dude, of course. Like I see these
for the obvious besides for the obvious reason, but yeah.
I got some recommendations for you too.
But and also I think Coffee works better because by her boyfriend being the villain at the end, and it has a good ending. Spoiler, where she does where he does, come on, Coffee, baby, you know I didn't mean to hurt you, and then she shoots him right in the dick, and it's like, yeah, fuck, that's what we need, yeah, like,
come on, Coffee, baby,
happy. Coffee, you know, baby, I didn't mean it, baby, because he's working for the white man and all that.
Yeah.
And you again, because Sid Haig is in these movies, and he was in a lot of Tarantino movies. And again, these were obviously the movies that Tarantino grew up with. A movie that is a parody-ish, but it's not a parody, and it's more of a. I watched The Great White Hype. I gave it 3.5 stars. I loved it.
I like it too.
It's still accurate about boxing today.
Yeah.
About these guys can't make any money. So do you know the story now about Floyd that came out yesterday?
Yeah.
That the Al Heyman deal is why he's broke, because it was all handshake deals. Nothing was on paper. So Heyman, the money went straight to Al Heyman, and he never gave it to Floyd, apparently.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, and that's what Samuel Jackson's trying to do with his promoter character, is not give Damon Wayans.
I was about to say that sound about right.
Yeah, his Mike Tyson ripoff character, because Damon Wayans is basically doing Mike. I wanted to break his nose with my punch. I wanted to send it to his brain, like he does Mike Tyson pretty well.
Again, boxing is worse than the film and the music business.
Well, it's also good in terms of how Jeff Goldblum's character goes from respected journalist to being involved in the game, and obviously that speaks to today how people go from media jobs to being in on the charade and in on the lights and pageantry, and selling the lie instead of exposing it. John Lovitz's character, he does have something that alludes to about their connections in Vegas and the casinos,
the Bob Aaron connections.
Peter Berg,
what doctors?
Yeah, Peter Berg as the white Irish but not Irish boxers. Again, perfect casting, because Peter Berg, total dipshit as a human being, plays a total dipshit in this movie. And I'm saying that is because Peter Berg so up his own ass about the military and the American flag and all that, and about what a real hero is, aka a white man. He's perfectly cast as this guy in this movie. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I loved it. It is a movie I wish was longer. And Roger Ebert's review was, it does seem like this movie just fast forwards for a little bit and ends. But Original Hedlund directed this. He directed, obviously, House Party, Boomerang, Legendary Figure. But yeah, I enjoyed The Great White Hype. Like I said, still true about boxing. And the guy who y'all scared, Michael Jace, who y'all get scared to mention, he was the boxer that Jamie Foxx manages. And Jamie Foxx is good in this movie where it does we want the what's the car that's like a Cadillac, but they can't pronounce they can't pronounce it correctly, but that's the car they want.
Chevy Caprice? I forgot.
No, it's not like a Cavalier or the Cavalier or something like that, where they think it's like a Cadillac, but not that. But
yeah, I think I do.
I watched Hoodlum. I didn't think Hoodlum was that good. Lawrence Fishburne is my favorite black actor of all time. He's not bad in this movie. The actors aren't bad in this movie. It's just Bill Duke as the director, I just don't think he's that good.
Yeah.
And also, it seems like, but I want to cut him some slack because it seems like this movie had no money except for the costumes. But it's just an ugly movie, and it's a story about Bumpy Johnson, which kind of is getting retold with Godfather of Harlem. I know you fuck with that. But yeah, it's just, again, I love Lawrence Fishburne. I just wish if someone else had directed it, I think it would have been better. And then I saw The Outlaw Johnny Black, which is Michael Jai White's semi-follow-up to Black Dynamite. Yes, of course, I've seen Black Dynamite, but he didn't direct Black Dynamite. He only co-wrote it and starred in it.
Mm-hmm.
This one he directed and co-wrote. I didn't enjoy this as much as I enjoyed Black Dynamite. There's not enough action like there is in Black Dynamite. The comedy is also not as good.
Right.
I'd still say see it. The movie he made last year, Trouble Man, god awful.
Yeah.
And they had no money for that movie, but that movie is terrible. I was like, this guy went from Black Dynamite to Outlaw Johnny Black to this. I'm like, it's. Yeah, so don't see Trouble Man. I'd say see Outlaw Johnny Black. I think it's on Prime right now, but
the old Trouble Man was good though.
Based off with the Marvin Gaye soundtrack.
Yeah.
I watched the I said I gave Hoodlum 2 stars, Outlaw Johnny Black 2.5. The ESPN 30 for 30 What Carter Lost, which was a story about the Carter team from Dallas that beat the team in Friday Night Lights. It was a documentary about them and how they were off the field committing armed robberies and all that. And despite this, as much as success they had on it, and it ruined guys' lives because they were going to go on to these big time schools with their scholarships. But once they got told on, they had to do time. So I recommend it, especially paired with Friday Night Lights. But the last one from the last two. And then we're going to tease next week's episode. And then I watched If Beale Street Could Talk, which is Barry Jenkins' follow-up to Moonlight. For years, I never wanted to watch this movie because I knew at the end of the day it would make me cry. I didn't cry, but I almost did.
Yeah.
It's a story by James Baldwin. It's a heartbreaking movie about what it's like to be Black, in love, racism in that time period in New York. And it's just, this is what got Regina King her Oscar. Even though I don't want to disrespect Regina, I think Colman Domingo was the one who should have got the Oscar. His performance in this movie as her husband, the father of the Kiki Lane character, is phenomenal, especially in the scene where he tells Michael Beach the side hustles he does. He's like, I got 2 girls at home. I got a roof over my head. I've done whatever it takes. So I'm willing to do whatever it takes even more and keep doing that. But yeah, this is just heartbreaking because shit like this happened.
Yeah.
Where Black men were, because it still happens, where they're wrongfully imprisoned, but even more so back then because there was no cameras. It was all, there was no DNA. So that's what makes it even more heartbreaking. And then, again, I love Moonlight, one of my favorite movies ever. Barry Jenkins knows that the last part of the movie is going to make you think about it the most, because I always think about the last scene of Moonlight at least every other day when he interacts with Andre Holland's character and he does the "Who is you, Chiron?" He says, "I'm me," because he knows he's not him. He's pretending to be someone else. But the scene in prison where his son's there to visit him and she's like, he just keeps writing down the same numbers. And he's like, what are the numbers? Like, it's the day you're supposed to come home. Like, his son's that obsessed with him. Like, it's just like, oh my God. And Barry Jenkins really didn't get the Oscar love he got for Moonlight. With this one, I don't know why. It was a stacked movie year, 2019. Oh no, it was 2018 when it came out. But yeah, heartbreaking movie. And then a movie that I also loved, and I didn't love it for my personal reasons, is Renaissance, a film by Beyonce. I loved Homecoming when it came out. Her documentary about this woman knows how to make a documentary.
Yeah.
It's propaganda. Shit. It's doing its job because I'm like, she is the hardest working woman in music. To do this choreography, to come up with this stage design, to tell them the costumes need to be like this, to be the director, even though I don't think she's lying about being the director, but like to be the director of the document, like all of that. And then you see the film captures the live show. I think the Homecoming performance looks better filmed. That was just a better concert to me compared to the Renaissance one. But the Renaissance stuff is still phenomenal. And I had to see this through a bootleg film version, like crooked camera recording in theater, because this is not on anywhere to be streamed, despite that it was released in theaters in 2023. Kiki went to the theaters to see it, despite having already gone to the concert that year. But yeah, phenomenal documentary. Like I said, hey, if this one wants to sell more of why she's the greatest, I'm buying it. It does its job. Like, I can't hate on her after seeing the work she does. Like, I mean, it does the, like, she's working on a bad knee, like she's Terry Funk, like another Texas legend.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's phenomenal. Again, the songs are good, obviously, the Renaissance album. But yeah, I just heard document. But yeah, so that was what I watched in 2025. So to preview next week's episode, because we're about to wrap up, Banks has got to go do our OP bonus. So the movies I've watched so far, and you're gonna get my thoughts on them next week, people, and the ones I'm gonna be watching in the interim. And I don't take Kiki's recommendations, so I'm not gonna take yours, but I'm gonna hear you out of ones you have. So this past week, I've watched Idlewild, The Cherokee Kid. The Cherokee Kid. Do you know what that is?
No. That's not
it's I didn't know this exists until I was trying to do more research for this. It's a Western parody starring Sinbad.
Okay, you could have just seen First Kid.
I watched CB4, which is what got you into this. So again, we're going to talk about CB4 next week. I watched, because I did a Chris Rock double feature in terms of stuff that he was involved in, but he didn't direct. Pootie Tang. And then last night, I watched Girl 6, another Spike Lee movie. So that's where I'm at so far. Give me some quick recommendations. Like I said, I'm going to ignore them. Unless, and they could actually be on my list too, but give me some recommendations.
Shit. Third Strike. Most of the movies on Tubi.
No, don't do that. Again, I'm not trying to do the janky Tubi movies of the last 5 years. I'm like
Janky Promoters.
I've seen Janky Promoters years ago.
That's unfortunate. Damn, what was that?
You'll have to, again, I don't want to keep making, you all have to understand my mother, okay? And she's no longer here with us, but my mother, again, was the woman who had Tupac CDs, Dr. Dre CDs, NWA CDs. She was the one who showed me Friday. She was the one that wanted to show me Last Boy Scout, White Chicks, all that. Like, that's who my mom was. So the stuff, if you're wondering like stuff I've seen or stuff I know, it's because of her.
The Wash. You ever seen The Wash?
Yep. Yeah. Again, we rented that. Yeah.
What about Car Wash with Richard Pryor?
You mean when Eminem, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking kill you. You gonna be
I got the AK and I'm coming down your way.
Yeah. The Wash is horrible. Horrible movie.
Great movie. Car Wash with Richard Pryor.
That is one of the, as you noticed, there's not a lot of Richard Pryor so far.
Yeah, you got to see the movie with him and Gene Wilder when they was locked up. Yeah, we bad. We bad.
I don't know if I really count that as much with what I'm going for. Maybe I would, but what else? That's in the box.
Cornbread, Earl and Me.
But don't forget, I gotta also find these movies.
Easy. Claudine. The Preacher's Wife with Whitney Houston.
Okay, I won't watch that movie, and Kiki knows why I won't watch that movie, because of a tweet I saw where someone said, "Why was Whitney Houston trying to fuck that angel?" Like, because that's what the movie's about. Oh no, that's the that is Preacher's Wife, isn't it?
With Denzel.
What's the other movie they did together?
I think that's it.
No, they did. They did the one. I'm misremembering the
Get Rich or Die Trying.
I've seen Get Rich or Die Trying.
Shit, I had another one, but
yeah,
I
it is
forgot.
Preacher's Wife. That all right? I was right. Yeah.
Wait to Excel.
That's one that could be on it. I'm not going to spoil my list because you'll see it. Because after I watch, we'll talk about the ones I just watched this week, and then next week it'll be the same thing. We'll set up the next episode with the ones I had just watched over the course of this week. That because again, there's no football to talk about. We'll talk about wrestling, not too in depth like we used to. But again, this is going to kind of be our saving grace for content for the rest of the
Killer Season. You gotta watch that.
That is the thing. I've seen Paid in Full, but the state
Killer
properties,
Season's better.
The state properties, the Killer Seasons, the Paper Soldiers,
two other classics. What hand you roll with?
That's
Shut
the
up,
type
baby
of stuff
boy.
I've always. So again, the reason I've done this is because Sean Finney of The Big Picture. He's influenced me a lot in terms of trying to expand my movie watching with other genres and most importantly other decades. I got really into watching a lot of 60s and 70s movies. No, Zell. No, Zell. I haven't seen that, which is what they were just talking about, right? On Rourke was just talking about saying it was the best movie ever made. That wasn't Goodfellas, The Godfather, or I haven't seen that. But yeah, the point of that was like, and these are all, like I said, first time watches. Like, I'm not going to rewatch the ones that's like I said, I've seen Get Rich or Die Trying.
Shadas, you gotta watch that.
No, I won't. My brother pissed me off with Shadas, so no, I'll never watch Shadas.
How did he piss you off with Shadas?
Because he wanted to watch Shadas all the time, and I'm just like, you are the most annoying person.
Random as hell. My brother would have watched a Jamaican shootout movie.
Again, why am I the way I am? Why the way my brother is? I just told you about our mom, didn't I?
Yeah.
So,
that was at Blockbuster Classic too. That shit was always at Blockbuster.
Because he saw it on it was a trailer to a movie we had rented or owned, and it was like Shatas. He's like, I want to watch that. Like, Mom, let's get that next time. And I was just like, and I saw the scene where the guy writes some blood, and then he writes the other 0 to make like he's killed 100 people or whatever. And my brother's like, that's so dope. And I'm like, this is the stupidest shit.
You gotta watch Blackula.
Maybe that's something I've also considered too. Is Blackula.
Vampire in Brooklyn.
I don't know. After watching the way Eddie talked about it,
classic.
And maybe
JD's Revenge. You gotta watch JD's Revenge. That's right. I fucked your old like.
But yeah, like the only other part I remember about Shadas was the Asian girl had some big titties, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, like those the rap made movies have just never been an interest of mine. Of like the rappers made these themselves, like I just said, the Paid in Full, the Killer Seasons, and all of that.
Classics. You mean you missing out? State Property 2, but 1 masterpiece.
And that's something that really doesn't. I think didn't Griselda try to do that before the pandemic? Did they have a movie come out around?
Yeah, and the soundtrack was better than a movie.
Trying to bring that vibe back because that's something that doesn't exist anymore. Is that type of movie
because if most of these rappers did something, it'd be June related.
Excuse me. Well, I mean, Head of State. I've seen Head of State. That's the thing we'll talk about CB4 next week.
You ever seen How to Be a Player?
No.
Add that.
You'll see what I've been watching. Like I said, that I'm teasing like, but again, I mean, this is this year's.
You seen I Got the Hookup?
No, I just said I didn't watch any of those rapper.
There you go. See, that's what I'm saying. You missing out.
To me, that stuff.
Hot Boys, pause.
I just get pissed off by one. They can't act.
It don't matter.
And then
it's still entertaining.
Our Idle Wild conversation is going to be interesting. Oh,
No, it's not, because it's gonna be 2 seconds. I hate that movie.
that's why it's gonna be interesting. I didn't hate it.
Yeah, the soundtrack was great, but the movie is fucking weird.
Booty Call, no, that's one my mom always wanted me to see, but I had never seen.
Masterpiece, another classic.
That's mean there were a lot of the ones from the '90s I can catch on, but
And
like
they all had great soundtracks.
All right, Tristan, this is what we'll end up on, because like I said, by Lawrence Fishburne being my favorite black actor, I've seen Biker Boys. Biker Boys is horrible. Yeah. Oh my,
Torque is better.
Yeah, not even close. Not even close. Because the racing and Biker Boys are atrocious.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't even look like Power Rangers have done a better job with their motorcycle chases than fucking Biker Boys. Like, and it's got such a good cast, especially for that era. It's got such a good cast with Derek Luke, Megan Good. Even though there's a guy, Lorenz Tate. Lorenz Tate is an actor. Maybe just because he's short and I don't fuck with other short people. I can't stand Lorenz Tate when I see Lorenz Tate and stuff. That's why I haven't watched Love Jones yet. I probably will, but I just can't stand Lorenz Tate. I've seen Dead Presidents, but every time I see Lorenz Tate, I'm just like, this short motherfucker.
Yeah, they've been reposting that scene a lot lately. I don't know what's going on. When he got fed up with old girl.
Oh.
What these and that PTSD kicked in. Oh shit.
But yeah, that's the thing like I said about it made me realize like, oh, I love it. Like one of my favorite black actors, and it goes back to That Thing You Do because Tom Hanks put in it, but he's always been in stuff because he was the dad on Half and Half. Oba Babatunde. I love seeing him and stuff. He's looked the same for 30 plus years. But yeah, it's made me really appreciate, because again, I saw Fred Williamson as an old man when movies would try, like when Dusk Till Dawn, Starsky and Hutch would use him as like an homage to the 70s, but seeing Fred Williamson young in these movies or seeing Jim Brown as an actor is interesting to me in these movies, and that's why I started, like I said, try to mix in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and a little bit of the 2000s. I don't try to keep it much modern day unless it's stuff that's just come out that I haven't seen yet. But thank you all for tuning in. Again, this will be a large part of the show for the rest of the month. Not just because because it is Black History, but also there's not much for us to plan in terms of topics-wise, unless some news starts breaking quick. Can't think of anything else that we should have mentioned but didn't. So make sure you're tuning in to RIOP's Patreon for the bonus episodes, and probably it sounds like main RIOP next week if Banks has to fill in for Joe.
This week.
Get well soon, Joe.
Yeah.
No. We're hoping you get well soon, get better. All them rugs can't, make themselves. All
hey. Yeah.
No, I'm not making fun of Joe. Right? I'm not doing that. But so again, RIOP's Patreon, Black and Out Sable's Patreon, Wiretap. If you're subscribed like I am, you're seeing that it's going to drop tomorrow. Banks and Eve already got it in the can. Most importantly, obviously, right now, Banks versus Davis are on our way to 500, then 10K.
Yep.
Make sure you're all subscribed, sharing, liking, commenting, all of that. We appreciate it. Again, a lot of movie talk for the next couple of weeks. Sports, who knows? Again, if you get into the Winter Olympics for hockey, like I mentioned, you should. That'll be interesting to see. I might try, but
same. Try is the word.
Wrestling, because we are on the road to WrestleMania season.
Yeah.
AEW is doing okay. I'm going to mention that. I enjoyed the Andrade Kenny Omega match.
And then you got to wrap him up in some styrofoam, being Kenny Omega after every match.
They're setting up him versus Mr. I Know Black. So that'll be an interesting thing.
Who?
It seems like it's going to be Kenny Omega versus Swerve next.
Oh, okay. I was like, they got a Dominican guy?
No. That's just what you have to say. I can't say the other stuff.
What else?